Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Top and the WGC Podcast with your hosts.
Penny Bomber's in the building. What's going on, fellas? How we doing this week?
Chilling.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're not live this week, but we're still going to make it a great show as always. Let's go ahead and get the guys introduced. Clint is in the building.
What's up, guys? Clint here. I'm over on Stryzer 2 Wrestling. Check it out for all wrestling game content. Got a big interview coming up. Keep an eye on the channel. And follow me on Twitter at Stryzer STW.
All right, and you got a big interview coming up with something I heard about, but there's been a lot of these interviews going on, but I heard you guys got some special questions you're going to ask, and y'all's interview will be unique. So tell the people, what interview do y'all have coming?
It's with Sam Valele, I believe that's how you say his name, and Dubbs. Thank you, Dubbs. He's going to be joining me, so we're going to question Sam about Ultra Pro Wrestling, so keep an eye on the chat.
I'm really looking forward to that one. We got Bryan in the building.
Yo, just Bryan, man. Y'all can go check me out on YouTube. I dropped a video today on the new platforms for WWE 2K24 that have been leaked. Y'all make sure to go check that out, man.
All right, Kenny Bomb is in the building. Y'all can find me at KennyBomb.com or just type in Kenny Bomb on YouTube. Of course, it will come up. Mortal Kombat content, but it is December now, so things are about to start heating up with WWE 2K24. As Bryan just said, we already got some leaks coming, so make sure y'all check everything out. Loaded.
What is going on, guys? Loaded is a beast. Check me out on YouTube. I may stream Fortnite Chapter 5 on Tuesday because I can't do it now because my monitor broke. So wait till I bought a new one on Amazon, so it'll come Monday. So I'll stream on Tuesday. So follow me on YouTube. Huh?
That's today.
Yeah, right. It is today. You're right. it'll be today.
We'll do it live.
Do it live. Check me out on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. It's the same on all socials, so yeah.
All right, shout out to Loaded. Make sure y'all look out for that stream today. Mr.Dubbs is in the building.
What up, y'all? You can find me at Mr._Dubbs on YouTube or Mr.Dubbs86 on Twitter. As you heard, we are going to be doing a interview with the developers of Ultra Pro Wrestling, Sam Valele. We have a lot of exciting questions for him. I myself am very, very familiar with the game. So we're going to do our best to ask a whole bunch of questions that haven't been asked to him ad nauseum. So stay tuned for that.
All right, and we got the GOAT in the building who just dropped an interesting video on Grand Theft Auto 6. Kero, I'm going to let you tell him about it, but I did really enjoy that.
Oh, I appreciate that very much. I am in the building. I am Kero the GOAT. You can find me as that on YouTube. If you want to find me on Instagram, you got to search for Kero. And yeah, that being said, I did drop a video about GTA 6 and told you why exactly you shouldn't be really excited about the game. There are plenty of reasons. So if you want to know, go ahead and go check out that video. It's going to be a heated one for sure. I already have some dislikes, but it's just, I tell the truth, all right? Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm going to do in this podcast as well, because this building right here, because I'm in Canada, it's kind of cold, but we're about to heat it up this episode. So let's go. I'm hyped.
There y'all go from the GOAT. Yeah, he hit on some great points on Grand Theft Auto 6. Kind of got me worried about it too. So y'all make sure y'all go check that video out. But one game a lot of you guys mentioned during your intros was Ultra Pro Wrestling. There was a pretty interesting interview that came out on Saturday. Mr.Dubbs, I'm going to let you run this one. What interesting facts did we find out about Ultra Pro Wrestling this week?
Well, it depends on how familiar you are with the game, as a lot of these interviews, they do cycle through a lot of questions because a lot of people they genuinely don't know a lot of information about the game. Mm-hmm. So there wasn't really a lot of new information for me. There was some interesting confirmations on stuff that was mentioned months ago, which I think was probably one of the most exciting parts of the interview for me, was hearing that all DLC, outside of obviously the DLC characters that we're already aware of, as they do a 50-50 split for all DLC characters. But as far as upgrades to the career mode, future move sets, creation aspects, match types, everything that's going to be coming to the game over the course of many years in the future is all going to be free. And that was something they talked about months ago. But since they added all these DLC characters and everything that, of course, are paid, I wasn't sure if they were sticking with that. So getting that confirmation today was really awesome. So yeah.
All right, and I do want to stop and talk about that part first. So he did confirm that when this game comes out, some match types may not be included, but I think this is really good with his run of interviews he's doing right now because we know what to expect. all of these match types might not be in there to begin with, but they are going to work on getting these match types in. And once they are in, they're going to be free. So we're not going to have to worry about paying for extra stuff that we should have got at day one when the game was released. Kero, you had any thoughts on that?
I think that's the perfect way to handle it, actually. I would love if AEW Fight Forever followed the same thing. We get all the game modes, all the playable stuff for free. And then, hey, if you want to add an extra spice with a new wrestler, new moveset, cool moves, hey, go ahead. Go ahead, buy that wrestler. But yeah, I love that. It's a very good way of getting out of that dilemma.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think about that, Loaded? Because I know you play AEW Fight Forever quite a bit, and you feel the lack of match types in that game.
Not as much, but I will say the only thing we should be paying for is wrestlers. We should not be paying for game modes or matches at all. But, you know, they got a low player count over there, so they got to make their money.
Yeah, for sure. So, Clint, you got the Ultra Pro Wrestling interview coming up here pretty soon. Did you have any thoughts on the interview today, or did you get a chance to listen to it yet?
I didn't get a chance to listen to it, but Dubbs pretty much summed up.
All right, for sure.
The majority of it sounds like, so, yeah.
Bryan, did you have a chance to check out the interview or interested in anything?
I have not had a chance to check out the interview, but I will agree with most of the guys. As long as they follow that right there, what they said with just adding stuff that should have been in day one, they're already on a good path for me. I might have to go and check it out some more.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
One other thing I'll touch on, sorry, Kenny, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say one other thing you mentioned was that he said they were going to give the wrestlers 50% of the revenue for the DLC.
Yes,
yeah.
I think that's interesting. I think that's a good move. You know, you're sacrificing a lot there, but to get more people into this game, you're going to want to have more like bigger names, and I think that's a good way to get people in. So I think that's a good thing to go.
That's a really good way to go.
To jump off that first, the DLC, the way he said it works for most games, because he said a lot of the wrestlers they've reached out to have been in some games before, some haven't, some knew how it worked, some it works differently if they're DLC or if they're in the base game. Generally, for something, say, like Legends of Wrestling, for example, it was the example he used. He said they're generally paid an upfront cost as to a certain percentage of what they think that character being in the game will reflect in revenue-wise towards the game. Whereas because Ultra Pro Wrestling is such a smaller studio, they can't give them anything upfront, which is why they've given a much more generous split than normally they would ever see in a DLC model, where they're giving them a 50-50 split. And the way now this wasn't in this interview, he mentioned this before, so I assume it's still the same. But he said he's actually going to let each wrestler name their price for how much they want the wrestler to cost. So if they want, say they want $5 per download, then they want their character to cost $10 or $2. And for guys who just have no idea, you know, what the value is or anything, they have the suggested, you know, general wrestlers at this level, you'd probably pay maybe $4 to be a good price point or two. So they have the suggestions if they want them, but if they're a specific person and they want a specific price tag on their character, they're allowed to set that, which I think is very, very cool because, again, you're directly supporting the game and the wrestler by purchasing these DLC, and this will be the only form of paid DLC in that game, which is very cool. But what I wanted to touch on, that part of the interview that since not everybody maybe got a chance to see it, stuff that we did already know, but some people might not, is the on the creation side of things, they very much want their community creations to be cross-platform. So same as that 2K Games is now. They want to, as opposed to what 2K has recently done with the modding community, they want to embrace the modding community. You know, they're like, if they come up with cool stuff and they're able to put it up, they want it to be able to go on community creations and for everybody to be able to download it on any platform. So they very much want to embrace the, you know, the creation side of things. And they also they don't know how the image uploader works with 2K because he's not super familiar with the 2K games. So they want to have an image uploader that you can upload images into the game like a PNG file, but they don't know how that will work and the difficulties of implementing that. So if at launch, because they would like to have that, but if they can't, they will have an in-game paint tool so that you can draw and like make images in the game itself so that you still have something. So there will be creators out there that are able to get that perfect Bret Hart pants or logo or whatever, even without an image uploader. But the goal is to have that image uploader for people just who weren't familiar. That was the goal. Same thing for music. They don't know how they can incorporate having your own music, and they know for people streaming the game or playing the game, that could cause issues if there's, you know what I mean? So they don't want to have licensing issues and stuff like that. So they're still trying to work it out, but they want to have a MIDI editor in the game. So you wouldn't have lyrics, but you would still be able to get like that N64 sound of like Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme of like the glass breaking and just
that'd be cool.
So you can still create those. So you still have something. And I honestly think that really fits the theme of the game anyways, the way it is, that if you don't have proper themes with all the lyrics and everything, I think a MIDI editor kind of version of the game, I still think that's pretty cool. And the fact that they're going to be hard coding that into the game, like for launch is their goal. I still think that's really cool because we haven't had custom themes in wrestling games in a long time. Fire Pro is the only one I can think of in recent memory. So.
Right. There's a lot of good stuff in there he's talking about. He kind of went deep into that creation suite. So I really recommend y'all go check it out. Pounding the Meat Podcast. Y'all can go to their YouTube page and y'all will be able to see that full interview. But one thing that stuck out to me during that interview was the fact that he said they were speaking to somebody who was invested in wrestling games and they might have an investor coming on board. So, I mean, if that's the case, then they might just meet the end of next year if they can get more people on board to actually help them get the game built. And another thing he mentioned was them licensing out the engine. He said somebody reached out to them because they wanted to use that engine to bring another game back that used it before. And I'm thinking it might be Def Jam. I don't know. It sounds to me like it could be Def Jam because I don't think WWE's reaching out to them because you don't say no to that if WWE's asking you to get the engine.
Yeah.
And the only one I really know is maybe Ultimate Muscle or a game like Def Jam.
Ultimate Muscle would be awesome. Ultimate Muscle would be so cool. Oh.
Yeah, I love the GameCube games they had. Anybody ever check those out? Any of y'all ever checked out the Ultimate Muscle games in Aki engine?
Never played
I still got them.
I never got to play them, but I'd seen the videos and stuff from them. They looked very cool. I played all the Def Jam games that were made under the Aki engine, though.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. So that's cool. I mean, hopefully if they do license the engine out, it is for something like a Def Jam game because I would like to see what they would do with that. It could be interesting. But again, make sure y'all go check out Pounding the Meat Podcast on YouTube. They got some good stuff up there. Check out that interview. It's definitely an interesting one. But go ahead. You want to close it out?
No, I was just saying Vinny Vegas did a great job with the interview.
Shout out to Vinny.
Vegas. Yeah, that was very cool. And he actually gave you a shout out because you were, I guess, commented.
Yeah, I was listening. Yeah.
Yeah, he gave a shout out to you as well. So I thought that was very cool. It was nice of him.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to add, Clint?
Yeah. Good.
All right. Again, y'all keep an eye on Stryzer Tube Wrestling because he will have a very unique interview coming up here with Mr.Dubbs, and I'm sure y'all going to want to check that one out. All right, so the next game we're going to talk about is WWE 2K24 because I was under the impression that when that little chart came out that this game would only be on current gen platforms, but it looks like based on a leak that came out on Saturday, I believe it was, that's not going to be the case. Bryan, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So basically, it looks like it was leaked, and it looks like we are getting the last gen games. So Xbox One and PS4, they are most likely not getting a game next year based on the leaks and everything that we saw allegedly. Now, that is a little surprising because I know that last gen, it still has a good player base. Like there are people that still play that game out there, and it's a pretty big one. But I do think that the resources being put towards that game could be put towards this game, and we could definitely have a better WWE 2K experience in the future. But it being on PC as well, though, that definitely kind of threw me off a little bit because they're trying to block mods. So the fact that they're kind of still throwing it out there, it does make me happy, but also surprised at the same time because I thought it was going to be something that was going to be just canceled as a whole. But yeah, that's about it.
All right. Do you think it's time to jump to current gen only, or is now a good time for them to just keep them going on the last gen platforms?
I think revenue wise, it really just depends business wise for them, how much money they're making off last gen. Because personally, if they're making a lot of money, I can see why they would keep it. But if they see sales just on a decline, then yeah, I mean, why not go current gen and put that other team that you're using for the last gen consoles on the new gen and keep us going and give us a better game? Because I honestly think that's part of the reason why these games are being held back as well, because they are trying to go ahead and do too much, trying to get two consoles on the same page, and that's not going to work out.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. Shout out to everybody who has an Xbox One, PlayStation 4. We definitely want y'all to be able to play the games, and you're right, there is a big player base there for them to make a lot of money off of. But I think them putting out these games just year after year after year, right now is the time where you need to make a big improvement. And I think if they take that team who's working on the last gen versions and put them all hands on deck on current gen consoles, we can actually see the power that these consoles are capable of, because I don't think we've seen that in a lot of different cases with a lot of different games, just because a lot of people don't want to put down or turn away that revenue. So I think it was time this year for them to make that jump, but if they're not going to make it this year, I think it's is it going to happen next year? You know what? I can't even say.
We gotta follow tradition. Look at WWE 2K14, and then look at 15. That was the first game ever to be on next gen and current gen only. Let's say 2K24, the last game on last gen, and then 2K25. That's when we're gonna make the jump, I think. But I also would like to say, be careful what you wish for, because again, remember what happened once we started going current gen. What if they say, "Oh, we're going current gen and we need another new engine again?" And yeah, that could be scary.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this current engine, so actually I wouldn't be mad at it. Mr.Dubbs, what do you think about it?
I think Kero basically just stole the thoughts right out of my head. It's when we got rid of 360 and PS3, it was horrendous because we lost 90% of our more realistically, like 50% of our features from the game. We're just ripped right out. And some of them we never ever got back. We never got create a story back ever. We never got create a move back. We never, there's a lot of things that just never came back. And then it's like, okay, great. Buy 2K16 or 17 to just get some of the features you had in 2K14 back. And I would argue the engine's not better. Like 2K15 wasn't a better engine. I preferred 14's engine to 15, and I preferred the match types. Like I thought 14 was the best, and people still say to this day, 14's one of the best, most recent wrestling games. The new engine from 15 on, I haven't really enjoyed. And the current iteration, I agree. I don't like. Unsanctioned TV would be the first person to tell you if he was here that the stun system needs to go. I watched a video he put up the other day that they're not doing any work. We complain about Fight Forever, right? And we complain about the leg sweep and the things they're not balancing. It's worse in WWE. Like you could just spam one kick button that can't be reversed over and over and over till you get 3 finishers. I watched Unsanctioned do this video. It's ridiculous. I don't have 2K23. I have 22. I didn't need the patch. I didn't need to pay $70 or $100 for the patch. I appreciate you guys doing it for the content, but I'll get 24 for the content. But it's just, they don't patch their games. They don't fix the problems. There's always every year a problem with online, and online is what matters to me, and they don't fix these things. And this is a huge issue. And the stun system and everything, just everything about the 2K franchise outside of the creation side, I've disliked for years. So I think the move to switching over will be better in the fact that we will get a new engine, and they will have to make new stuff, and it will have to change things. And getting rid of last gen, great. I don't care about graphics anymore. You can't upgrade the graphics anymore to make me care more about your game. It always is down to gameplay. Fight Forever proved that to me. Everything else is going to, like games I play, it's just, I don't care about graphics. Your gameplay has to be fun.
Yeah.
So. Let me ask you a question, though, real quick. I know Loaded is next, but y'all really think we're going to get a new engine, bro? They just built this one
I don't think
2
so.
years ago. I don't think we're going to get
I can only hope.
Yeah.
But I don't really. I think they'll just upgrade the current engine that they have because it's one they've made.
Yeah, that's what.
Because they were still working off Yuke's engine for the longest time, right?
Yeah, until 20, and I think after 20 they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to go ahead and shut."
Because they didn't know how to do anything with it. Yeah. They didn't know how to code it.
Yeah. My question would be here again, just branching off of that. What's gonna happen when they go to the new console with the same engine? What's gonna change then? The graphics? That's it?
No, I mean, wait.
More people in the ring.
Hold on.
More
what
match
do you mean,
types.
Kero, new console? Because what you talking?
He's talking about Series X and PS5 only.
Yeah. If they went current gen only, what changes?
Yeah.
Is the engine the exact same on Xbox as well? Xbox One and PS4. Has anybody tried it? It's the exact same.
Yeah. It was in 22.
Yeah.
It's the same.
The only thing
But
One
I'm
thing
just
I think they'd upgrade would be like how many characters you can save, download from community creations, how many images you can have, stuff like that.
Will that change? Because isn't that just down? That
I
should
hope
just be
so
down to
because
hard
the more
drive.
powerful hardware.
I mean,
Mr.
It should
Dubbs
only
has a
it
good
should be down to
point.
hard drive space, and it's not currently, and it should be.
It's still 100 on PC, and they're saying if you go over 100, the game's gonna break. So it's in the code.
Wait, but
Okay.
War
Oh, okay.
Games, War Games was the special thing to us. I don't think current gen has that.
You might be
Oh,
right about
really?
that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Oh, I
So
don't
if they
think so.
so if they come with another mode that is like that kind of justifies them going away from the last generation, I think that would kind of justify it a bit for other buyers. I don't know if for everybody, but for other buyers, I think they would be more inclined to purchase it. But don't quote me on the War Games thing. I'm thinking because they couldn't even do 5v5 on next gen because they felt that it was too much. So I honestly think that it does have something to do with that as well, but don't quote me on that yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it could be. I think maybe with the SSD and the newer consoles, you could do things like in the old games, we could go from ringside to backstage, and there's a big backstage area all interconnected. I mean, I don't know if that would help, like open up more things like that. I don't know if you can get more from like what is it called, like My Rise or whatever they do now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe if they have that team who's working on that other stuff, they can bring that team to invest more into these modes and make them a lot better than we see in the 2K games as of right now. And to answer your question, Brian, I don't think we're going away from this engine anytime soon. But what's up, Loaded? What do you think about it?
Well, just because let's say if it was on current gen, next gen, I don't think that doesn't mean it's going to be a great game. I mean, they have no competition. That it's 2K, they're lazy. Like Fight Forever, Wrestling Code, and what else? Ultra Pro Wrestling. They got to step it up. That is the only way they'll put effort into this game. It's the only way. Yeah, and Fight Forever, they're messing up. So I don't know. Hopefully we get a new match type here. I'm kind of disappointed. It's not on current gen, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see where they go with that. But I think Fight Forever did. That was the one with the biggest chance to cause everybody to improve. And the fact that they kind of didn't deliver with that, I think it hurt the wrestling games all around the board. Yeah. What do you think about it, Clint? Everything moving to current gen only.
To feed off what you just said about AEW not really hitting the mark, look at what 2K23 did right when AEW came out. They started giving out free wrestlers. I forget who it was, but they were a little worried, like, oh crap, we might actually have to try, right? Well, I don't really think they're going to change much in 2K24. I think it's just going to be status quo because it does have to work on the older platforms, but like Bryan said, we'll probably get an exclusive mode. Hopefully it'll be a cool match type like casket match or buried alive match, some weird mechanic that they can't get it to work on the old gen because it's not doesn't have an SSD. Kero said that the code is messed up. That's why we can't get more created characters and stuff like that. So that's a bummer. So yeah, I don't know what would they do on next gen that they can't do on current gen other than just make it look prettier, make it look nicer. And
you make it look prettier at this point?
I mean, yeah, it already looks photorealistic.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get how it transitions from when you come to the ring and then it'll take the camera away and it'll transition to when you're in the ring. Maybe that'll just be one seamless thing. It'll show them coming in the back, going to the ring, and instead of like a camera cut or a mini loading screen, it'll just be one seamless. Yeah. It's kind of like God of War, where God of War is just one seamless game. And like you said earlier, it'd be awesome if it would just loaded the entire arena with the SSD and you could just go anywhere and fight anywhere. That would be awesome. Kind of like Stadium Stampede, but an actual arena. That would be freaking awesome.
That would be great. Yeah.
That's what I would expect from a next gen only version, but only time will tell, I guess.
We need new hair physics as well.
And man,
yes, absolutely.
Need new hair
crap
physics
every year.
Yeah,
that's in pretty much all games though. For whatever reason, I think it looked great in Hogwarts Legacy. But go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say like NBA 2K, they do a fantastic job at capturing hairstyles and stuff. So it's really surprising that they can't get it done with WWE. I know that women have like long hair and stuff.
What?
But,
yeah. You were gonna add something, Kero?
I mean, many things, but one thing I definitely want to add is as a PC player, I know how NBA 2K treats their PC player base, and even the old generation. Like they still have, even with their latest game, the old generation version, but they're missing so many features. Like what we have with WWE 2K right now, we're super lucky that the only thing they're really missing is that War Games match, and other than that, PS4 and the last gen has everything. Maybe a little less graphics, but that's it. But NBA 2K has been taking that to a crazy level where like entire game modes, not just match types, are starting to go missing from the last gen, and PC included. Like even though graphic wise, PC should be able to, handle it, but they're too lazy to bring the new version to the PC, do the optimization. So like that's one thing that I'm really afraid of when it comes to that, even if it goes next year or it doesn't. But yeah, I just want to add that.
So real quick, I don't have the PC version. War Games isn't on the PC version?
Yes.
It's not, or is?
Yes. It is.
Okay, I was gonna say it's not on the what? What?
No, that's what I'm saying. WWE2K is good right now. They're not doing that BS, but NBA, their other game series, they're really like having this huge divide between current gen and last gen, and that might start to happen with 2K2 or WWE 2K, and that's scary.
I wonder if they'll split the. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt anybody. I wonder if they're going to take the community creations and they're going to keep the PC community creations separate from all the console ones because of the mods. I wonder if they're going to do that for the next game.
Wouldn't be
that way
surprised
you can't
at all.
upload it to all the consoles.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah.
All right, and one thing y'all mentioned there was the creator wrestler being capped at 100, I believe. Do y'all ever make it to that amount? Have y'all ever reached the limit and maxed out?
With downloads and the 50 I make every year.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So with downloads too,
No
yeah.
lie, the last time I created a wrestler was in 2K14. That was the last time I made a
Oh,
wrestler.
man. Not even in Fight Forever? You didn't create one?
No.
So
What tools was I creating in AEW Fight Forever, bro?
Fair.
So I don't know if it's the same in 23, but in 22, if you downloaded wrestlers' attires, it would take up a creator wrestler slot. So it would eat up one of your 100 slots.
Yeah.
You would download an attire for like a Triple H or a whatever. If they made a custom attire for somebody, it would eat up one of your creator wrestler slots. So just having RVD have like 6 different attires, that's six creator wrestler slots there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I went through my creator wrestler slots super quick because I was just getting attires for people and setting up my universe and just getting like a proper AEW roster with some of the golden era WWF guys like a Mr. Perfect or Kurt Angle or whoever it might be. You eat up those 100 slots so fast. Easy.
Yeah.
And I was doing my
Go ahead.
Experience real quick. With me, I always am scared because it's just 100. So I always like be really choosy, picky with who I download. And even if I do that, even if I optimize the hell out of it, I usually by the end of the first week run into not the create a wrestler limit, but the created image or downloaded image limit, which is 1,000. Right. I run into that immediately. So yeah, that's been my experience.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I normally with these games, I'll create one wrestler to go through the creative career mode or whatever with. But I was jumping in there with the community creations and downloading a lot of stuff, and I kept getting those messages saying you have too many of this or too many of that. Yeah. And like the game would just crash after I download a certain amount. So you're right. So I mean, if that's what's causing it, then yeah, they need to get in there and fix that for sure.
The custom logo bug is still an issue in 23 because in 22 that could ruin your whole save file, and you would have to like get from a previous. Like I was smart enough because I had my save files wiped in prior games that ruined like hundreds of hours of play. That I constantly was re-uploading any update I would make to any of my creator wrestlers, constantly having an updated version on my own creations that I could just download again because I expected my game to constantly lose its save file or get it corrupted because I had too many saved images. Bad. And even if you would delete wrestlers, it wouldn't delete all their custom logos. So if you got a better CM Punk or something, you'd still have 50 custom images for the old CM Punk you deleted. So you'd literally have to go in and individually like delete images. It was a horrendous system. It was really bad. And I think they patched it a little bit later on down the line, but I didn't know 23 was still having all those issues.
I just want to point at someone here. right here. You see him? He's right now doing this.
What's wrong with Bryan?
He's got ruined. His game got ruined recently with the update that disabled the mods.
Oh,
He
yeah.
modded the hell out of the game, spent 200 hours sitting down, setting out the universe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you didn't upload anything to Community Creations to have anything backed up?
What you mean to community creations?
Like, so I don't know how it works with mods, but like any created characters or any characters you have, if you made them anyways, you can re-upload them to Community Creations. So that if your stuff gets all corrupted, you just download it right back. Same thing with a.
For me, it doesn't. Oh,
He's doing the duck face. He's just going with the trends.
Rena's logo.
Going with the trends.
Oh, there's another duck face. He's back.
But yeah, no, I got a
Back
gist
in
of
the
what you
building.
were, I got a gist of what you were saying, Dubs. Since mods and universe mode, unfortunately, I didn't have a save for that. I actually started working on building it back up because it's been bothering me lately. But hey, bro, this is tough when all your stuff gets deleted. They have to fix that ASAP.
Yeah,
that not only off 2K16.
Sorry, maybe the next gen version will fix universe mode finally.
Yeah,
that's the new selling point. We fixed it.
Yeah, universe mode needs
WWE
a lot of
2K24.
work.
We fixed it.
Yeah,
there we go. Perfect. We fixed it. We fixed it. You know what? Yeah.
But I don't see why they don't just let you save the creative wrestlers to your hard drive and not limit it to 100. Like, there's got to be something. There's got to be a reason for that.
Game dev stuff.
I thought 100 was enough, though. I feel like 100 is not
It
enough.
depends. For me, it's more than enough. But like Clint said, he creates a lot of wrestlers. So, and it's a common complaint I see all the time, and I always wonder, like, are people just complaining or are they really creating like this many wrestlers? But some
they're
people
not creating it, Kenny. No one is creating 100 characters and complaining.
I think some
they're
people
creating. They're creating maybe 20 or 30 or 40, maybe. But you're downloading for your separate universes because you're not having one universe. You have AEW, so you need at least 30 wrestlers.
This issue has been going on.
You want Japan? You know what I mean? I'm saying you have to have full sets of rosters, and if a single attire for a Triple H is going to take one of your creator wrestler slots, then you have to make the choice. Well, I can't download any of these cool RVD attires then. I can't you know what I mean? It's just
but
ridiculous.
these have been going on before Community Creations, though. That's why I say that. This is not something new. I hear that this every year.
Over 10 years.
Listen, I'm telling you. Go ahead, Clint. You're the creator wrestler guy.
I was gonna say, I don't want to give them ideas, but watch them start charging for creation slots as a DLC.
Oh no, no way,
no way. If they're gonna go to this,
I don't think
if they're gonna go to this free to play model that everybody wants, like what is it, Greg Miller?
No way they can do
they're
that.
Start charging for you want some more creative character slots? $10 for 3 or whatever.
God.
I can see it happening.
Like 100.
Image uploader. You want 4 images? $20. You know, it's like it'll probably happen.
I don't think it'll ever get to that point, but it'll they're gonna make revenue out of my faction. I don't think it'll ever get to that point though, where it'll start affecting the base game, in my opinion.
Someone clip this right now.
Yeah, I definitely think you're wrong about that.
That would be terrible.
You know why I think you're wrong about all this? Because they're already starting, and Destiny started real coy, and Destiny went, oh, look, we just have this little shop where you can just get a few flashy cosmetics. It's just it just goes over top of your existing stuff, and it just makes everything look cool. Look, it's just a glow. It's just a set of armor that glows. It's okay. It's just cosmetic. That's all they're ever going to do. Now it is the most predatory game in the history because they have a free-to-play option. They have a free-to-try where you can try the game and play like a few base game modes, and that's it. But using that, so they have an option that they can call free-to-play, charging over $100 per year for their expansions.
It's where things are going now.
If you want every item in their Eververse shop, and it doesn't always have every item possible because sometimes some things are seasonal and they'll come back every year at that time of the year. But you'd be spending like over $20,000. Someone said.
Yeah, I think that's what gaming is going these days.
It's worse now. It's worse now.
Yeah. But adding community or creating wrestler slots for money is ridiculous. That'll just be insane.
Yeah, that would be a slap. That would be a slap to the face to all the consumers for sure.
It's going. I swear, and 10 years it'll be there 100%. It's just
Hopefully not.
As soon as they bring it in the game, they just see how much wiggle room before Backlash, and the wiggle room gets more and more and more, and players get used to it more and more, and the new generation of kids are all used to, oh, of course there's a cash shop. That's how you buy, that's how you get cosmetics. What do you mean community creations? You used to be able to put your own images in the game. No, you pay $20 so you can get Spider-Man in a Wolverine costume. You don't just download them from a community creations. Not a chance. Community creations is going to be going away. I don't see that sticking around.
I don't think so. I don't think that's going away. I doubt it. I doubt it.
I think
that's a huge part of the game.
I mean, we got to remember, bro. A lot of the people buy this game for strictly just the creation suite stuff. Like I really doubt that community creations would go away. They'd be losing a very, very big part.
Yeah, you know how quickly that goes away? It's as quickly as 2K no longer has the license and EA takes over, or another developer. Yeah. No more community creations.
Yeah. You got a point,
bro.
The only way that goes away
is if it becomes a
creation
service.
suite in UFC? Not as good as it was in the THQ games. Different developers. How's that system working out for you? I hate the grapple system so much. I loved it in the THQ games. New developer, bye-bye. Bye-bye community creations.
I don't know. I think 2K is here to stay for now, though. They just signed a new contract, so.
I don't know. I think if they were talking to EA, then they're open to make the jump. So, I mean, we'll see. If they decide a new contract, we should have a few more years with them. Yep. EA, if they spoke with EA, I'm sure EA is building some type of wrestling system, and they're going to have something to show next time they come talk to them. So I wouldn't count it out. But you were going to say something, Kero, before we.
Honestly, no. I was just gonna make a joke saying like, just WGC episode 1000. We're just gonna all have white beards, very long, and just screaming at the kids. We used to have, community creations. God damn it!
And
Can't wait.
I'd be surprised if EA took over at some point, simply because they can literally show WWE. They can literally show WWE, here's all the revenue we can possibly make you, because EA are the kings of microtransactions. 2K is bad, my boy. I remember they tried to do an Ultimate Team with UFC. I don't know if you guys remember, and they used to have you pay for parts to make the character into what it was. Like, hey man, listen, bro, they got something up their sleeve, bro. They'll tell WWE, and listen, bro, this is what we could do for you. And
whatever happened to NBA Live? Just off topic, because I know they brought it back at one point, right?
Yeah, they brought it back, but it went away. They just can't compete with 2K, bro.
Yeah. Hey man, I would have just stayed in my corner and did my thing.
That's funny.
All right, before we get off WWE 2K24, we had a lot of wrestlers come. We had a lot of wrestlers go. We got a lot of new wrestlers. So, who do y'all think will be added this year? Because some wrestlers missed the game last year, and we had some wrestlers who were locks that will not be there this year. I'll start it off. So I say one wrestler they need to get added to this game. I don't care if he came in last week or not. They got to get CM Punk on that base roster. Another thing we had to talk about here is the fact that he is like at the top of their merchandise sales. So listen, if you want to sell more copies of WWE 2K24, I think you got to have CM Punk on that base roster. So he's my number one. I think Jade Cargill will make it in the game as DLC. I don't think she'll be there at the top because she hasn't even had a match yet. We haven't seen what an entrance looks like for her. She could be building that stuff up in NXT, but who knows if she sticks with that when she comes to the main roster. So I don't know. I know she's definitely not going to make it on the base roster, but maybe as DLC. And I think we'll see Kairi Sane in the game this year. I think they'll get her in there before it's all said and done.
Okay.
As far as my wrestlers who will be gone, unfortunately, my boy's been in here for a very long time. Dolph Ziggler will not make it in this year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. It's a big
one.
one.
See it. That one breaks my heart. Emma had a chance to get in this year, but she's gone. And another big one, I'm surprised they let this guy go. I don't know where we see him end up. Elias will be gone this year.
Elias. Oh, interesting.
Who wants to go next?
And Ezekiel. Don't forget Ezekiel.
Oh, Ezekiel. Big Zeke's gone.
Can't forget Zeke. But I can go next.
All right. If you can, give me 3 who you want to see in and 3 who's definitely out.
All right. So 3 that I would want to see in, it would be Jade, Punk, and Bronson Reed.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you see any of them being on the base roster?
Bronson Reed. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
He should be at this point.
Everybody else will be
Fair.
DLC.
Fair.
And for my people that are gonna be out the game, we're gonna be missing Edge.
Oh yeah.
This year.
All right. Yeah.
Damn, I'm trying to think now. Who else left WWE? I mean, we're missing Dolph Ziggler for sure, as you said.
For sure.
Mhm.
And
My boy.
Damn.
Mustafa Ali.
Oh yeah, we are gonna be missing Mustafa.
you're
Ali.
right.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah. So those are my 3 right there. Good looks loaded.
All right.
All right. Clint, you got 3 or 6?
Yeah. So people are obviously leaving in the game. Will be Dana Brooke. I always thought she was
it's another one.
underutilized.
I forgot about her.
I really liked her. It sucked that she never got to hit her stride. And once they put the 24/7 belt on her, it kind of destroyed her.
Yeah, I thought she was. Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to say something about Dana Brooke too, because I had high hopes for her as well when she was in NXT. I was like, oh, she's going to be one of their girls, and they kind of just really dropped the ball on her.
It's such an awesome theme song too.
Yeah, right.
The first one, not the newest song.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but go ahead.
And then obviously Edge. His name escapes me, but the guy that was with Randy Orton.
Riddle.
Yeah, Riddle.
Yeah.
That's it. Riddle's going to be gone, obviously. And then this one, because they let his wife go from the company. I want to say Ultimate Warrior, but I hope they don't remove him. It all depends on how I'm trying to pick ones that you guys wouldn't.
He's
going to
be on AEW Fight Forever. Don't even worry about
it.
Right.
I'll go buy the season pass right now. And then people I think that will be in the game. I think Punk, like you, will be main roster. He might even be on the cover if he's selling out all this stuff. And then hopefully with him being on the cover or in the game base, they add his wife, AJ Lee. I think that'd be really cool as DLC to get the whole family back in there. And then a personal hope, either base roster or DLC, would be the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom. It's kind of 2 people.
Do they not have those in there right now?
No.
They don't put the Legion of Doom? Oh, really? Must be some contract stuff.
I don't know if they are on the blackball list or something or what.
Must
they haven't been in a game for a long time.
Interesting list, though. You got some good ones there, Clint. Loaded, you got a list?
So you guys said all the names I was gonna say. One that you guys did. One name you guys missed was Pat McAfee. He could be.
I think they'll keep him. Yeah.
He wasn't in the game this year.
He hasn't been in. Wow.
Nope.
I'm surprised they didn't capitalize on that.
He will.
I think he'll be in. That's a good one.
He'd be a good creator bonus, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I think
it'd be the last DLC.
Hey, he's a big
or
name.
the base roster. We'll see.
He's a big name. Apparently, he's got a real big podcast, so that'd be interesting.
And wasn't The Rock scanned too last time he was on SmackDown? I believe
they scanned him again.
I think they scanned him, so they got the newest model. So they got his new tattoos,
right?
I believe. So yeah.
Right. Mr.Dubbs.
I think we're losing everybody who's been cut from the roster. So people that weren't said so far, we got Mace, we got Mansoor, we got Shanky. I think
don't take him off from Kero. we
killing me over here.
That's why we said 3 and 3.
I'm saying anybody who's released from the roster. I think I'm just looking at the mess, and nobody said Shelton Benjamin. Nobody said the biggest name of them all, Ric Flair. Ric Flair's in AEW now. Bye.
I don't know. Like I said that before, and people said Jake the Snake's still in WWE games. Is that true?
Maybe.
I think he's in 23.
They said Jake the Snake's been in 23.
I feel like Ric Flair's gone. Shelton Benjamin's gone.
Rick is definitely gone. They took out that woo.
Yeah, they took out the woo. Yeah.
I think you're going to lose Rick Boogs if he was in the game, because that's a name that wasn't said. But I also think that there's going to be more releases between now and the game, and they're usually pretty quick to be like, oh, did you have an entire storyline set up about Bray Wyatt? Yeah, rip that out of the game, where you don't care. Just take it right out. So they will rip stuff out even if they're pivotal to the game. So I think any releases between now and just after the Royal Rumble, they're going to be gone too. People that'll be in the game, I disagree with most of you. I don't think Jade Cargill will be in the game even as DLC. I do not think she'll make it.
They got to get her in there. I don't know.
You can say that all you want.
A lot of these wrestlers already made the cutoff, though, Dubs. Even if they get released now. I don't know if you remember Braun Strowman. He got released, and he still made 22. And then they went
out of their way to take out Bray Wyatt that one year, though. Like he was pivotal to the story mode, and they ripped him out.
What
Yeah,
year
but
did
yeah.
they rip him out? What year are we talking about?
Whatever year they ripped him out, it was a
22.
22.
Yeah, it's 2K22.
He was literally a big portion
Why
of
did
the
he get
career
ripped out?
mode,
'Cause he
and
got
they
released?
ripped him
He
right out.
released.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got released.
I forgot he got released at one point.
Yeah,
That's
so
supposed
I'm
to be
saying,
in the story segment in the
you don't remember that whole
mode.
time where we were
Yeah.
like, "Is he coming to AEW? Is he coming to AEW? Is he going to feud
Yeah.
with Matt Hardy?" You don't
Is
remember
he
that
all
whole time?
elite? Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie,
Is
I
he
was
all
into
elite?
wrestling at that time, but I wasn't really into wrestling. I was like more like out and in the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm saying they'll just anyone who gets yanked out. It doesn't matter if they've made the roster cut now; they will pull them out. If they're a big name, if they're not a big name, then maybe they'll leave them in. But
All right. What do you got,
they do not
Kero?
like.
Cero, Miedo.
Well,
I didn't
for the
say anything
people,
about who was going in. I
Oh well,
just
go
give
said-
us
ahead.
3 who's going in.
Yeah, I said I disagree
You
with
just said
everybody. I
nobody's
don't
making
think-
it in. I was like,
I
okay.
said I don't.
I
I said
said,
Jade
okay.
Cargill, I don't think is going to make it in because I don't think she'll have an entrance in time. I don't think unless you see her wrestle a match in time in WWE, you're not getting her. They're not just going to make up an entrance. Like unless she's on TV before the Rumble, which I don't think she will be, with an entrance and a finisher and everything, I don't think you're getting her. But I do think CM Punk will make it. I think he'll make base game. Just because they'll spend money. I think they'll spend the money to put him in because he's the top seller and everything, and they should. And then other guys that'll make it in, I don't know who's not in 23, so I can't answer outside of the big names. Like I don't know who else is coming. I don't think anyone that comes in from
some
here.
good points though.
I don't think anyone that comes to the company beyond now though, because their name won't be as big as CM Punk, will make it into the game.
For sure. Now let's get the opinions of Cero Miedo, not Ryback, Clinton. Put him in there as a legend.
Well, before I get to my opinions, I gotta say 2 things. Number one, like someone getting out of the WWE definitely doesn't mean they're gonna be left off of the game as well. Because it happened to Bray Wyatt, but then you had Kushida, Keith Lee, and many other people, so many more that were left in the game because they had storylines. So you can't just take one example and apply it to anybody.
Right.
Because Keith Lee and all those names should have been gone as well from 2K22. It was kind of like a Joker year. It was very different than how things usually went for 2K22 and 2K22. The circumstances with that game was very different. As for the second point, I completely forgot. So I'll tell you the 3 people that I want to see in this game. I'm gonna go with the man who has a name of a porn star. That is Lexis King. I think they're gonna put him in the game. The old
DLC?
Bryan, maybe DLC, maybe something like that. But I think it's gonna be in the game for sure. I feel it.
Okay.
Jade Cargill, I also disagree. She won't be in there. Who else can we get in there? I mean, can we count the Dudley Boys as like one? I want to see him, and I think they also signed
they
like
will be in my opinion. They just signed that contract.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty likely. Also, my second point was Bronson Reed and Pat McAfee. They're 100% in the game, I'm sure. Maybe in base roster even, because in 2K23 they already had their entrance animation, maybe even some of their finisher animation. So they're ready. They just need to put in the model. So I think they're going to be base game. As far as the third person who I want to be in the game,
Snoop Dogg.
No.
Oh, I spit in the face. Oh, he stepped off camera to go get the apple.
Right. Apologies for that.
Nice.
Clint. It wasn't me.
Big applause for Kero Cero.
Where'd you get that apple from, bro?
From my,
stepped off
I just jumped out of the window.
Jumped out for a second.
For people,
I think he'll make it though for sure as well.
For people who's gonna be missing, that's a tough one to say now. But I guess I would say what do you call it? The model guys, the old co-workers of LA Knight, so Marseille and Mansour. They're gone. I mean, I'm always sad about Dolph Ziggler leaving, Shelton leaving. What else? Did we talk about Lacey Evans? Lacey Evans, she's gone.
Oh, she's definitely gone.
Yeah.
Definitely gone.
Yeah.
I think the last name I can say is okay, the man who couldn't make it over the top rope. He's not gonna make it over WWE 2K24 either. We're talking about Top Dollar.
He's gone.
Unfortunate, but it is what it is.
But Kero, Does Carlito have his old music or the new music? Do you want to be cool? What does he say?
I spit in the face of people.
No, he doesn't say that anymore. It's something else he says now. It's like, "Are you cool?" or something he says. I'm like, "Oh my goodness, it's terrible."
Yeah, it is bad.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And then it's elevator music, anyways.
Yeah, it's terrible. What are they doing with Carlito? All right, but good list. I think everybody has there, and I'm surprised a lot of people say Jade Cargill is never going to make DLC because I think she might have a big spot at WrestleMania as long as. Go ahead, kiddo.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, if she makes an appearance and actually wrestles, I agree with you.
Yeah, hopefully she does though. Hopefully she does. Could y'all imagine how crazy it would be if they just saw like, oh, you're not good enough, and they released her?
Nah.
That
What
would
the
be
hell?
After making a
insane.
yeah. Ooh,
But think about it. If she's not good enough, they're not going to keep her.
nope.
Yeah, they will.
What? Oh, what about Gable Steveson? Did he really get released, or what happened with him?
He's still around. They just don't know.
Oh, I saw some rumors saying there was okay.
He's just being paid for no reason.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes
So-
will make sure Jade is ready. Trust me, bro. He's good.
He
He brought her in.
Yeah, but
true.
he ain't gonna be enough because he was working with her in AEW too, and she's not the sharpest. I think she needs some work, man. I think she needs some work. And if they don't want to put up with it, or if they don't see her pulling through, I don't think they'll hesitate to release her. That'll be terrible for her.
Yeah.
Will they take her back?
Yeah, Tony Khan will take her back.
If I was Tony Khan, I wouldn't take her back.
Tony
Really?
Khan made it clear he's very happy to have her. She's welcome in the AEW family anytime. Like he had nothing but glowing things to say about her on her release.
I mean, they did book her well, though, I guess, to hide her weaknesses, but I don't know.
He could
The
bring
way
her
you
back
can-
to barrier.
Maybe.
Right?
Revenge.
She's going
He
to
made
make
a female
debut at the
Goldberg.
Royal Rumble, bro.
Yeah.
You think so, Brian? For sure?
Yeah, I mean, if they do debut her at the Rumble, I do think that she should win. But I am like stuck on the fact that she is gonna make her debut at the Rumble, even if she doesn't win.
I mean, Triple H says she's not ready. She's only training 2 days a week. I don't know.
We talked about this.
That's scary too.
We
That's
talked
red
about
herring,
it, but I'm
dude.
just saying.
Red herring.
He should at least
He's
be there
playing it
like
down.
4 times
Red
a week.
flags.
Yeah, nah, I think
He-
he's
He
not
doesn't
gonna,
want
I
you
mean,
to think
about
she's
it.
coming, so it's a surprise.
Yeah, he's not gonna
Yeah.
come out and tell us, "Oh, she's ready any moment," and let us just.
Yeah.
But does he make her look
Just
bad
expect
like
her any
that?
day now.
But does he
How
make
does
her
that
look
make her look
bad like
bad?
that? Just
I don't think he made her look bad. I think if anything, he was shooting at AEW. I don't think he made her particularly look bad.
100%.
yeah.
I
Okay.
agree.
All right. Well,
One
we'll
thing
see what happens. I'll be at the Royal Rumble again, Brian. So let's see. We'll see how it goes. All right. So
Add, before we move on, just one thing, like for everybody to visualize what Jade Cargill's career will look like if WWE actually doesn't end up liking what they're seeing from her. I feel like it'll be very similar to Ronda Rousey.
yeah.
They're gonna use her as much as possible, and then by the end, we're just gonna be like, why is she even on the roster? And
Yeah.
then,
I think it'll be very different with Jade, though. I don't think they can afford to fumble her if they want more talent from AEW to go over, especially women, because obviously the guys they seem to be happy after seeing Cody's success. Now CM Punk seeing how he may be treated after AEW might drive some more people out there, but I think they can't afford to fumble Jade. Like, she was booked like Goldberg in AEW. You gotta do something with her.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that's the point. I don't think that's the case though. Just because you look at, I think the perception has kind of changed. Before it was everybody wanted to be in AEW. Now you hear a lot of the AEW talent complaining, frustrated with their booking and storylines. I think with Triple H heading WWE now, that's just as good as like a new Tony Khan running that company. So I mean, it's like a fresh set of it's like a new toy box in WWE. So I mean, I think we don't know what to expect. Like Adam Cole wouldn't have done great under Vince McMahon, but if he goes over there and Triple H is on top, Adam Cole could be a main event level talent. So I don't think them fumbling Jade would make them look bad in the AEW wrestlers' eyes, just because I think they might look at it like Jade fumbled Jade if she only wants to train 2 days a week and things like that.
How true is this
so I
news,
don't
though?
know. I'm sorry?
How true is this news that she's only training 2 days a week?
Did that come up from Dave Meltzer or who said it?
No, Meltzer.
H.
Yeah,
It was a report, yeah, that she was only
anything he
H.
say, bro.
Triple
I don't
H
believe
said
nothing
it
he
at the
said.
press conference.
Voldemort.
At the press conference.
Triple H actually said she was there 2 days a week.
He said she's at the Performance Center twice a week, and
See?
we're very happy with her. and we're going to take all the time we need. We have no reason to rush her. They're fine with it.
But maybe she's at the performance center twice a week. That don't mean she's not training. Maybe she's at the American Nightmare Factory.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, the American Nightmare Factory. What do you mean?
Cody Rhodes Factory, that's where she usually.
Oh, I thought they train. So they do train WWE wrestlers as well.
I mean, I'm sure. Like, if I saw a video of her and Ricky there after she went to WWE.
Wow. So I didn't know.
So
I thought
sure she's
Nightmare Factory is owned by Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall, and QT Marshall is also leaving and going to WWE.
I think QT Marshall is going to WWE.
This is what I'm saying. So literally the whole Nightmare Factory will be
crazy.
part of WWE.
Yeah. Whoo, boy. What about Big Shotty Lee? Y'all think he's going to make the jump?
For sure.
Anybody know who that is?
He might miss, but he's definitely going to jump.
Yeah. And well, if he jumps, I think Julia Hart jumps too. You know what? It's going to get very interesting here pretty soon. So we'll see what goes on.
You seem to think that WWE has this amazing magic TV that has room to just build and grow and turn everyone into a main event level star.
Everybody's not going to be
There's only so much roster spots. Like, how can they just take everyone from? Like, how do you see Julia Hart going? I don't see her being a giant star.
I said that because Shotty Lee's her husband, and if he jumps, I think she's going to go to her husband.
Malachi Black's wife is Zelina Vega.
And Malachi Black tried to leave.
Yeah, and so did Zelina Vega. She tried leaving WWE. They both tried to leave. What's the big deal? Like,
contracts are coming up. These guys,
and Charlotte.
You're right. There's so many roster spots.
To get Charlotte over. I'm saying there's only so many spots. Cash and creative, everyone's pissed. If you're not the main event feature every week, and in the main event, whether you deserve it or not, you should be pissed. That is what wrestling is. But there's only so many spots. So no matter what, Keith Lee wasn't being used in WWE at all. He's not being used in AEW. Betty's pissed. Triple H will use him better. Triple H didn't do fuck all with them. And it's the same thing. You bring Adam Cole over there. You think a 6 foot nothing's going to just magically be in the main event? I disagree with you, man. I think, the main event.
I never said NXT. Main event. I never said main event.
You would turn into a main event. Triple H turn him into a main event.
Turn who? Well, hold on. I said Triple H turn who?
Talent.
Who?
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole would absolutely be in the main event.
No, I disagree.
Adam Cole would absolutely be in the main event if he went to WWE.
Triple H can easily book NXT to have these guys main event NXT because you're not competing with Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk at the same time.
So you don't see. So Adam Cole wouldn't be in there with Seth Rollins. Is what you're telling me right now.
There's a reason why Chris Jericho didn't swim when he was put in there with The Rock and Austin and Triple H and Angle at the top and The Undertaker at the top.
Look at the names you just threw out there. Seth Rollins is not Triple H, The Rock, the Austin, and Undertaker. That's not Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns isn't those guys.
But there's not enough time to just take because you're just basically saying, no one's saying, we're going to take all these guys from WWE and move them over to AEW to make room for them. Everybody's just like, no, we're going to take all these top stars from AEW and they'll all be main eventing. We're going to have Julia Hart over there.
I was trying to jump in here the whole time. I said there would be a trade. This year is going to be interesting. WWE guys are going to AEW this year. Yeah. AEW guys are going to WWE this year. You're saying there's like a limited amount of roster spots. These companies are going to be trading back and forth.
Yes,
it looks to me like Drew McIntyre might be out the door too.
Yes,
and is he going to be a main star in AEW? No,
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see him in AEW. I'm sure.
I want to see it. I
don't want to see it. He's a WWE guy. I think if there is a WWE guy, I don't know. You know what? Maybe they can fix him because right now I'm not into his character and everything in WWE right now. So I don't know. Maybe
be there for Wembley.
Oh, looks like we got Mr.Dubbs.
I kind of hope Drew goes to the other show just to mix things up a little bit because he's a freaking giant, man.
He is a giant. You kill those guys over there.
I'm so tired of guys in WWE just falling out of the main event scene and then just getting picked up by AEW. I don't want them. I'm done. I want younger talent.
It's gonna happen.
There's like 3 guys in WWE that I would like to see in AEW, like from the main event tier. Otherwise, I want them to develop
those 3 guys.
Talent. Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, AJ Styles.
That is terrible. That is terrible, Mr. Dubbs.
Those are 3 old guys that fell out the main event.
Those are 3 old guys who stole out the main event.
That's why I said there's only 3. That's why I said there's only 3. No, that's why I said there's only 3 of those levels of stars that I want, and those are the 3 because they all.
Oh man, I don't know, Mr. Dubbs.
They all get along with the locker room, and they're all great storytellers.
The Elite aren't even stars in their own company. So what would Kevin Owens and those guys do over there?
Kevin Owens would be a main event star overnight. Kevin Owens would get Kevin Steen.
Exactly.
Oh my God, Kevin Steen is a main event star in AEW.
No, he is not. He should not be. WWE, I'll say WWE killed him, and unfortunately, it's too late for him to come back. I don't need to see him in AEW. We just saw he doing his backflips or whatever, falling off the ropes like Jeff Hardy now. Kevin Owens is not Kevin Steen anymore.
I don't know, man. I think he's a great storyteller and did amazing, just like you said, in NXT in a smaller pond.
Yeah, NXT he was great. When he came up against John Cena and stomped on the title, he was great. But these days, I don't know if there's any good rehabilitation.
I haven't watched SmackDown or I haven't watched Kevin Owens since he wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin. So to me, he's still relevant. I don't know how the WWE's destroyed him because I don't care to watch it. But I would watch him in AEW. I don't care for Drew McIntyre, never have. Don't want him in AEW. You just asked who I would like to see. Love AJ Styles. Would love him on my TV more. Bring him to AEW because I like and enjoy watching AEW. So I take stars that I would like to watch that I don't see because I don't watch WWE. I would bring them over. That's why I have those.
I can understand that. But I do want to know everybody's opinion on that because I think that's an interesting argument. If Adam Cole was in WWE, would he be a main event level talent? What do you think, Clint?
Maybe, depending on how they booked him, how they treat him.
Right, maybe. Bryan.
Ask that one question one more time? I'm sorry, bro.
With Triple H at the top of the WWE right now, if Adam Cole was in WWE, do you see him being a main event level talent? Do you think Triple H will put him in there with Seth Rollins?
Yes.
You say put him in with Seth Rollins.
Absolutely,
anybody can be in with Seth Rollins.
He did good.
No, that's what I mean. Main event level talent.
But the Miz wrestles Seth Rollins. That doesn't make him main event level talent.
But I'm saying when they put him in there with Seth Rollins, he can take the belt from Seth Rollins. If he's the world heavyweight champion, he's a main event level talent. That's what I'm saying. Just to be clear, he could win that world heavyweight champion.
For me, main event level talent means you are the night one or night two main event of WrestleMania. That is main event level talent.
Yes,
I don't see Adam Cole main eventing either night of WrestleMania.
I think you can build.
That is the question I asked.
You can build.
I think you could.
Oh, you could. I don't disagree that you could. I just don't think they would. The question is, would
Triple H
I don't think they will. I don't.
He's a big fan of Adam
He was
Cole.
that guy.
That's what I'm saying. He's a Triple H guy.
But this is my point. NXT again. When there's
and plus they have two world champions.
Adam Cole wasn't the champion of NXT when they also had Finn Balor at the top of NXT at the same time as Bobby Roode, Shinsuke, whoever else, Seth Rollins, everyone else you want to throw in there. Once you take them and filter them out, not all of those former champions, Bobby Roode never made it to the top. You left him too. Look what happened to Shinsuke. They're finally rehabbing him after all these years. There's been no proof that just because you were Triple H guy in AE or in NXT, you're all of a sudden at the top. Finn Balor's never gotten back to that level that he was when he first won the Universal title. And he's been a big Triple H guy. He was NXT main event with Triple H.
But Vince got his hands on him first.
Great, but Triple H has him now.
You gotta let us jump in, Dubs, because you're making a lot of points that aren't fair to say. Because you're saying Adam Cole wasn't at the top of NXT when Finn Balor, Shinsuke there. He wasn't there. Yes. He was at the top during his time.
Exactly. There's eras of NXT, but just because you were top of NXT with Triple H in charge doesn't mean he's magically going to make you main eventing WrestleMania. Because that has not come to fruition for a lot of guys.
I don't think that's what we're saying. I don't think that's what we're saying.
That's not what we're saying at all.
I think what Kenny is trying to point out is, for example, there are multiple guys that have that main event potential that Triple H would take them and elevate them there. But Adam Cole, I think he's a perfect example of it. I mean, yes, we saw it in NXT. I get your point with there's only so many wrestlers there, but I think you can put a Adam Cole and make him relevant enough and push him to that main event.
I agree there.
Main events on night one, and I think they would do it.
My whole point is that I'm hearing so much talk of, WWE's going to take this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, and they're all going to be so thriving. And you can't make 30 guys thrive at the same time.
I mean, I don't think
it's not possible.
We've seen it before. Yeah, we're talking about
possible. The Attitude Era didn't have Val Venus main eventing WrestleMania. I'm sorry.
Well, Val Venus was a star, though.
Great, sure, but then that's a different. There's a completely.
He was a star for sure.
He was.
But there's a huge difference between Val Venus and main eventing WrestleMania.
Yeah, but
and when you say main event level star,
Huge differences, right? Huge differences, right?
But a main
Very,
event
very
level
big.
star doesn't always main event WrestleMania. I mean, look at
Boom,
Gunther.
that's what I was just about to say.
He's a main eventer. He just hasn't main evented WrestleMania yet.
Exactly.
But
every main event.
Who?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I'm saying Gunther, like he's a main event star. Okay. I think you can put him in a main event of WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
He's an incredible heel. He's top 3 heels in the WWE right now. And you can throw him in there and build him up enough, which I think he's already built, and you can throw him up in there. Now, when we're talking about guys that are coming from AEW, we're not saying they're all going to be main event level stars. I mean, Ricky Starks, he's probably going to be in the United States or Intercontinental division at best. Now, guys like Adam Cole, if they were to come over back again, I think that they could be pushed to the top. But that's not for everybody that's coming from AEW. I think WWE would benefit greatly from a guy like Ricky Starks coming and sparkling that division in a different way as well. So
sure. I don't disagree there. I just don't think there's enough roster spots to say they're going to sign all of AEW's like up and coming talent. I just don't.
Well, contracts expire, people get fired.
I'm not saying
switch
you're
up
not
the
going to
toy
go
box
over
every year. And if they got a pool of talent to pull from, they're going to pull from that pool of talent. Now, I didn't say everybody who comes from AEW is going to be a star. If Julia Hart came to WWE, she's not going to be near the top of their women's division. She's better right now in AEW. But like Adam Cole, I think he's a guy they could definitely put at the top. And a main event level talent doesn't mean you're going to main event WrestleMania because everybody does not. CM Punk never. So CM Punk was never a main event level star in WWE.
This is what I'm saying. Someone that could main event. You're saying could, and he will be main eventing, right? So he is a main event level star.
I don't know.
He is main eventing WrestleMania,
Really?
Right?
I don't know yet.
That's what they're
just
saying.
arguing with me about this thing, bro. Don't do that now.
I'm saying we don't know. It's not allowed.
No, but this is my point. Is could you see them?
You know what? I'm coming next year. Boom. CM Punk's gone.
My question is, do you see X main eventing WrestleMania? I do not see Adam Cole main eventing WrestleMania. I do see CM Punk main eventing WrestleMania. I could see MJF main eventing WrestleMania. Is he if he signs tomorrow? Who knows? But I could see MJF main eventing a WrestleMania. So I would consider him a main event level star because I could see him booked to main event it. If I don't see them as someone potentially booking them as the main event, then to me they are not a main event level star. Period.
All right, I just got one more question on this topic before I ask Kero. Okay. So you're saying The Miz is a bigger star than Adam Cole? Like you could see Miz main event at WrestleMania over Adam Cole? Because The Miz
I don't think The Miz would ever main event again, and I think it was a horrible decision.
Not again, he did it. But he did it.
Great. And I never considered
he's a main event level star because he did it.
Great.
But
I would never book that.
Your standard
and for me, if you asked me, and that say before that ever happened, would Miz ever main event WrestleMania? I would say not a chance in hell. But
and that's all I'm saying.
Go in with shenanigans with the Rock, sure. I don't consider him myself because I would not have ever booked that.
That's all I'm saying.
Never seen it had it not happened. But
so that opens the door for.
There's your barometer. If you think the Miz is a bigger star than Adam Cole, then good for you. I do not. But I also don't think the Miz would do well in AEW. Nor do I think they're going to put Adam Cole in that main event slot. So again, you're booking Adam Cole under the Miz. So to me, probably shouldn't go back to WWE.
All right, Kero. Did you have something to say before you answer the question as to is Adam Cole a star main event for WWE?
No, I'll just go ahead and talk about the question because I don't have a strict viewpoint when it comes to someone being a main eventer or not. Because my belief is if you can book it well, you can make it happen. Mm-hmm. And with Triple H, I feel like because they got such a close relationship, I mean, like I'd say Adam Cole is like one of the closest people when it comes to wrestlers, besides like Seth Rollins and all that, and some of the girls in the Four Horsewomen. He's probably pretty damn close with Triple H, so he would definitely make the attempt. We saw what he did in NXT. You know, why shouldn't he try? And the biggest example I can give of like how perception can completely change is gonna have to do with Adam Cole. Once he lost that match against OC, the Orange Cassidy, he was done for me. Like I swore to never watch him ever again. That was the most embarrassing thing that I've ever seen him do. And like this was off of his hot return too. So like you just brought this guy into your company and this is the perfect way to bury him. But then maybe they booked it or it was just chance or whatever, everything coming together. His storyline with MJF, it just changed everything. To me, from like below the ground, not like forget the main event. Don't even come to the show. That was the level for me for Adam Cole. He went to the main event again. So why wouldn't it happen with Triple H being there? I think it's extremely possible. And one gripe I have is with his promos. He always does this like stuttering, and I wanted to, that's
I know what you
annoying.
mean.
Yeah. Other than that, though, why not? I think he needs to bulk up a whole lot, at least. Go to the gym with Finn Balor, if he goes to the WWE and just get those muscles in. If he's not going to be huge, at least, look defiant, have the abs and all that. Other than that, one thing, like I can see all of your guys' points because Mr.Dubbs, like if he goes to the main roster, like you got Roman Reigns there. He's a big ass dude, is taller, stronger, bigger looking. Like, will he be able to find a place in the main event scene? There are a lot of reasons he can. There's a lot of reasons he could, but at the end of the day, I think Triple H would try with them at least for one WrestleMania, maybe night one. I can totally see that happening.
Right.
Maybe not night two, like the end and all of everything. But I totally see it happening. When we slot in Triple H into this story, I see it a lot more, possible to happen.
Yeah. And I agree with that 100%. That's why I said Rollins and not Roman Reigns, because yes, he can. I think he can main event night one based on the build, but I don't think he's gonna main event a night two. And no matter who it is,
you guys are right.
Anybody they book as a main event, anybody they book as a main event level star, I think can get there. Look at what they did with James Ellsworth, the jobber guy. They got him over.
The creep.
Yeah,
I think that's what people say.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely interesting. We'll see where it goes. I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about contracts as we get into 2024. All right, so WWE TV. CM Punk did not show up on SmackDown on Friday. Apparently, he's not going to be showing up on Raw either. Do we know that as a fact?
It seems he's showing up on SmackDown.
Yeah, they would have promoted him already for
they would have.
They already promoted him for next week's SmackDown, and Raw is 2 days away. Feel like they would have done that already.
Yeah, but you said they did promote him for next week's SmackDown?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, for tribute to the
That's
troops.
interesting. So is Roman Reigns, is he going to be on that SmackDown? No? Okay. I find it very strange that we have CM Punk here debuting over a week ago and there's still no angle. Anybody got any idea of what's going on with that?
I still think it's him and Rollins, but yeah, I'm not sure because obviously Randy and Roman, it seems like they're going to go ahead and feud now. Randy will be building that on his own for a couple weeks.
That's interesting.
Now we're probably getting Punk. I don't know what Punk is doing, man. I don't even know. I mean, if they don't put him in a feud or anything, I can see him just making his debut at the Rumble and winning it all there.
Ooh, that could be very bad news for you, Bryan, because if Randy's going against
Rollins.
Huh? You said he's going to face Rollins?
Yo, listen, bro. We're not doing this again. We did this last podcast. We're not doing
I'm just saying, the question right now is who is CM Punk facing at WrestleMania? And if Randy's going up against Roman right now, CM Punk is going up against Seth right now, those sound like Royal Rumble matches to me. So where are we going for WrestleMania?
I think Punk and Cody are going to be the last two left in the ring, and Punk will eliminate Cody. And Cody will make his way in the chamber and win the chamber and go to WrestleMania.
To go against Roman?
Yep. And then you're going to get your Rollins. And they already made it clear. I sent the report earlier this week. They already made it clear, bro. They said they do not want Punk and Roman this year because they want enough time. So that's probably going to be a SummerSlam match, Punk and Roman. Now, we might get Punk and Stone Cold, but I feel like that's 10 years too late.
Okay.
I don't think so.
So before we get off of Punk and Roman, is it smart to hold Punk and Roman off until next year?
It's not. You're not giving them enough time. It's not happening.
CM Punk might not make it to next year.
Not enough time.
He is gonna make it to next year. I don't think that's the case. It's not.
We're seeing how he is in the locker room right now. It's the honeymoon phase. CM Punk is back. Woo, yippee!
Exactly.
But
whoa,
Tony Khan had CM Punk versus Kenny Omega in his back pocket the entire time. He put Bryan in there right away. CM Punk was going to wait. He was going to hold off CM Punk. We never got it. I don't think WWE can afford to not put Punk in with Roman in his first year.
They can afford it.
Yeah.
It's just they are
bad idea.
It don't make sense to run that right now, bro. So you telling me It just don't make sense, bro. Randy Orton is gonna face him at the Rumble. I don't know if Roman. Anybody know if Roman is advertised for Chamber? He wasn't in Chamber last year.
I'm
Why?
not sure. Do they advertise the Chamber?
He's gonna skip most likely,
You
but
think-
Bryan,
no,
I
nothing
really
on that
thought
yet.
you loved. I really thought you wanted to see the story
Hold on.
end, and I
Let's
really
get Clint's.
thought you
Let's
liked
get Clint's
it.
thoughts before we move forward.
I was just gonna say, you say there's not enough time to build it or whatever. Do you know who these people are? It's CM Punk. You don't have to do
Yeah.
jack. It's just Punk is the disruptor. He has this narrative surrounding him,
Mm-hmm.
and you have this title reign that's been going on for over a year.
That's a report.
And now it's
though.
like, wait, Punk's going to be the one to beat him? Oh, what's going on? I mean, it kind of writes itself. It's like the just outside disruptor who has all this heat on him from other companies. He's going to come in and face our champion that's been champion for, what is it, 5
that's
years?
That's a legit
But
report.
who?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, it writes
Yeah.
itself. You don't really need to build it
I mean,
for it.
no, I mean,
Who
even-
reported it, Bryan? Who
even then,
reported
though,
it?
BWE. Even then, though, you do
PWE.
Not, yeah.
Who?
Boozer.
Who?
But you
Not the
do not,
Boozer.
Great
you do
guy.
not respectfully though, bro. You don't even need a title on Roman to make that feud work. Paul Heyman is the ultimate pawn in that feud, where I can see it happen. Listen, and I'm not saying, because we're not gonna get into this argument either. I'm not saying Roman is gonna lose. What I'm saying is, let's say Roman were to lose hypothetically, and let's say Paul Heyman is the last thing he has around him, and Paul Heyman decides to go on ahead and betray him for CM Punk, because CM Punk is back now. That would make some great storytelling as well.
Yeah,
There's many
great
ways that
WrestleMania
they can
match.
go about it. No, bro, it doesn't even have to be for WrestleMania. It can be a SummerSlam match. I'm just saying there's many ways that they can go about it. But oh well, we'll see.
I don't know if WWE is or should even be in the business of saving matches, because for one, Mr.Dubbs, I agree with you. They can't afford to wait.
So you built
because-
up Cody this long to just throw him in the trash?
Hey, you gotta go with what's hot. I'm sorry, Cody Rhodes. Maybe we'll circle back to you at SummerSlam, because you ain't winning at WrestleMania anyway. But if CM Punk runs into an issue where he gets in trouble and he's up out of there and Roman does not get to wrestle him before he goes, that's bad.
I'm going to laugh in your face for 2 hours after Cody wins the title at WrestleMania.
Cody is
It'll be
absolutely
bad.
not
I'm
winning that
putting
title.
100. I'll happily put $100 saying Roman.
I'm putting 100 on it too.
Alright.
No matter who.
I'm putting
no
100
matter
up
I'm
too.
taking all
No
y'all
matter
money.
no matter who he wrestles at WrestleMania, Roman will retain the title at WrestleMania.
And I agree.
So when
And-
the Cody and Roman match, when the Cody and Roman match
watch
is
me-
official,
No, watch me eat my words when Damian Priest comes out and beats Roman at
No.
the end of it all.
That would be terrible.
Listen. When the Cody and Roman match become official, we could put some money on it and lock it in.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm happy to have Roman on that one, because
Yeah.
he's going to beat Hogan's record. I am so far on that train.
If
It's
he's
not
wrestling
100%
Cody again, there's
confident
no
in
way
that.
Cody loses twice in a row. But listen,
exactly. That's why you have Punk in this year, so Punk takes the L.
Right.
Punk will happily take
Cody
that
doesn't
L.
take a hit.
but I don't
Mhm.
think
Exactly.
I don't see it happening, bro. I really don't. I don't see the whole. I don't see
It's
it
happening, Brian.
They already
It's
said
happening.
Seth Rollins has first dibs on that feud with Punk. They already said it.
It doesn't
Great,
matter.
for the Royal Rumble. For the
No,
Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
if,
For the
they're not-
Rumble.
if they haven't even started building the Rumble yet, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I don't know. Unless Punk doesn't acknowledge it at all and just wins the Rumble and then calls him out. That's the only way that happens. But they got to start doing something soon, because now they got him on SmackDown.
Isn't the Rumble on the end of January? They got like
Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll
And
have to see.
WrestleMania build really doesn't start until after the Rumble. That's the road to
Rumble.
WrestleMania. So that's where we figure out where we're going, and then they build it up to the show. So they don't got to
Listen,
start now.
I'm gonna die on the hill of Punk and Rollins night 1 and Roman and Cody night 2.
I can't wait to see Stone Cold fucking glass shatter and just have him and Punk just rip it up on night
That-
1 of
that would be
WrestleMania.
great.
Before we
And
get to
Rollins-
that,
and Rollins
did
doesn't
anybody
even
else-
get a main
Yeah.
event. Rollins doesn't even get a main event. Sorry, Stone
Yeah.
Cold. And
Before
CM
we get to
Punk
that,
get it.
before we get to
Right, one
Stone Cold,
opener.
does anybody else got any thoughts on Punk versus Roman?
Yeah, it's
Right.
gonna happen.
Hmm.
Okay.
It'll happen.
All right.
In about
So
8
let's
months.
talk about the other rumor. If Punk's not going to face Roman, if he's not going to face Cody, there are reports going around saying there's talks for Punk to be facing Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. Do y'all think that's a good idea, or is it too late? We'll start with Clint.
Yeah, it's never too late. They could. The cool thing about wrestlers, they have such training. You don't have to go a million miles an hour. You could really set the pace and do a great match that way. I mean, look at Sting's matches; he does great still. I almost said Ric Flair, but no, some of the old timers actually do really, really good matches. It's all about the flow of the match. I mean, Kero is training right now, so he knows somewhat what I'm talking about. You don't, like I said, you don't have to do 1,000 things at once. You can just really tell that story between CM Punk and Stone Cold and really just get the crowd involved. You hardly have to do anything as far as wrestling moves are concerned. You could really just tell a huge story just with interacting with the crowd. I'll repeat myself.
No, you make good points. I think, again, you make a lot of good points there because we saw when Stone Cold faced Kevin Owens, it wasn't really this crazy match. He was just in there kind of beating him up. But I think you can tell a good story there with CM Punk kind of being the younger guy, maybe Stone Cold selling from the bottom, and then he just comes up and does a lot of Stone Cold stuff, hitting the stunners. You can make something good out of it, I think. It's not, of course, it's not going to be like a crazy 5-star classic, but I think you could actually get away with it. What do you think, Bryan?
I think that if it does happen, I think, like I said, it'll be 10 years too late, but it's still going to generate some of the most revenue that WWE has seen because it is, at the end of the day, Stone Cold and CM Punk. So, obviously, still going to be a great business decision, but I wish that they would have done it when Stone Cold was in better shape. Even though when he wrestled Kevin Owens, he didn't look too bad, in my opinion. I think he can still go for one more, but that's just my opinion on it. I still think it'll be cool to see, and honestly,
right. What do you think, Loaded?
I think WWE is gonna offer him a big bag. They want to make sure he takes that money and does the match with Punk. So the build-up will be tremendous, but I think the match would be terrible. Well, I mean, it's smart to do it now, because Punk is the #1 merchandise seller. So yeah, we'll strike while the iron is hot. So try and go for it if you can. Before Austin gets older, before they both get older. So do it now.
Yeah, I would hope the build is tremendous though, because I don't believe Stone Cold even came up when he was feuding with Kevin Owens, right? Did he ever show up on TV to build up that match?
No, surprise,
No.
right?
Didn't he?
I thought it was a surprise.
I thought he had one appearance because I know.
Maybe
They never even announced it as a match until that night.
Yeah, it wasn't announced. No, but I'm pretty sure he had an appearance or two.
Maybe to announce he's gonna do a talk show.
Yeah.
It was like the Miz.
Yeah, they were doing it. Yeah, KO show or whatever. Or right.
Oh yeah, the KO show. That was it.
Yeah,
because I wasn't a big fan of their match, so I'm worried about Punk and Austin. So
you weren't a big fan of that match.
I loved it. I mean, I was there.
That was my highlight.
I love Austin, but I love Austin, but he looked.
That was my match of the year by far.
So
yeah,
really.
Yeah, crowd reactions is everything.
With the hot take.
I think his knees were shot, bro. So we'll see.
Yeah. What do you think, Dubbs? You think it's possible we see CM Punk versus Stone Cold?
Yes, and I hope it's what happens. Back that Brinks truck up to Austin's property and say, get in ring shape. We're announcing an actual match. There's no CM Punk talk show. We're announcing a match. You're having a match. It'll be exactly how you want to do it, the same way you did it with Kevin Owens. We don't care, but we're announcing this match. You have to announce it ahead of time. That's my only concern. Hulk Hogan was 48 years old when he had that match with The Rock. Everybody loved that match. CM Punk is 45. Steve Austin is 58.
Ooh, 58 stuff.
That's
what Sting does it. How old is Sting?
Sting's in his 60s. Sting is
what?
64?
Sting pulls it off.
Insane, yeah.
Sting
wrong Sting. Wrong Sting. We want the wrestler. The actual.
Shape of my heart.
But Sting doesn't have
64.
he hasn't died.
Yeah.
He said 64. He's still an old man.
So I'm saying, Austin looked great at the other WrestleMania. The Rock is currently 51 years old. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see The Rock and Roman at next year. So why would we be so shocked to see Austin and CM Punk this year? I
would be surprised
more
to see
leaning
The Rock
towards
in there
Roman.
again.
Yeah?
He hurt himself.
If we see Punk and Roman and then imagine The Rock comes back next year, Cody just never finishing the story.
Never.
It's over.
Not at WrestleMania.
Oh my
Never.
gosh.
What do you think, Kero?
Well, I think there are many things that I think about this, but number one, I don't know why, Bryan, you're so sad about this. Like, if this happens, Cody goes to Roman, right? You're happy, you get what you want. And then we get what we want because we get CM Punk versus Stone Cold. And there are so many things I can say about this. Like, for example, why are we even wondering about the quality of the match? If this happened 20 years ago or during the peak of the Attitude Era, we're going to get the same match. Like, did you ever watch a Stone Cold match? He does the same thing. His punches, his kicks, they don't really look that good. Look, he doesn't like, he can wrestle if he wanted to, the technical stuff. He doesn't need to. All he needs to do, throw the punch, the Lutez, stunner. That's it. And to me, a good wrestler is someone who's able to get the most response, the most connection from the crowd by doing the least amount of physical stuff and getting themselves, or that's the best type of wrestler. And as I'm, training, that's the wrestler I want to be one day, So like, absolutely, like you guys, like Dubbs and Kenny, when I watched the Kevin Owens match, I was just jumping out like off my chair. The fact that they actually did the suplex on the concrete too, I was like, what is going on? Like, this cannot be real. And then we have another fact, like wonders of modern medicine. We're not in the 2000s anymore, like the beginning of 2000s. We got all these new things, all these techniques now that older guys like Edge and many other people who probably shouldn't be wrestling right now are still able to go. So as long as you can play it safe as you can be in a professional wrestling ring, you'll be good. And with Stone Cold, like I said, just a couple of punches, just take it slow. Just look at each other. I still remember every single day the little segment they did with CM Punk and Stone Cold. Backstage, Stone Cold was the GM and he said like, I can whip your ass backwards or something like that. So even the segments are going to be worthwhile enough. So I'm 100% behind this. And if they did it this WrestleMania, it'd be absolutely amazing because, well, they're both young.
He said, you're so drunk. Can you even do the alphabet backwards? He says, I don't know about all of that, but I could whoop your ass backwards.
There you go.
Well, Kero got me fired up for the match. Let's go. Book it, Triple H. If it happens, I might even fly back out to WrestleMania again, so we'll see. All right, so on to some AEW talk before we get up out of here. So the main event at World's End has been confirmed to be Samoa Joe versus MJF, but apparently MJF is legitimately injured. Do y'all think they'll pull this match from him before he actually wrestles there? Like maybe they do an angle where the Devil and all of them beat him up, or do y'all think he actually wrestles the match and does he win or lose? Because if he's injured, I don't know, it could go either way. What do you think about it? Let's start with Kero.
Okay, I see a Cody Rhodes situation here where he had this pectoral muscle torn, and he still went with the match. And then after that, we haven't seen him for months. I feel MJF is going to do that because not only does he have one injury, I don't know where those injuries are, but I'm pretty sure he has another. So he has dealing with two pretty serious injuries. So, and he's going to have a match with Samoa Joe of all people. So he's going to be slammed down, thrown around, stretched. So that injury is just, I feel like the best you can do is...
Go ahead. I'm just playing.
Yeah, okay.
Whoa, kid, wow.
That's what I want to see, brother. But, yeah. So I feel like MJF is gonna do his job, and I feel like he's gonna lose it. That's the feeling I'm getting. Someone's gonna take the title. He's gonna be a strong champion, and MJF is gonna lick his wounds for a good while.
They've been building Samoa Joe up, so I think it's a possibility. What do you think, Mr. Dubbs?
I think that we're going to see MJF get choked out and not tap out. I think it only makes sense. But if we remember the story of the historic reign of the Ring of Honor Television Championship, we had our boy Keith Lee in a historic match against Samoa Joe for the title. And then Samoa Joe, beating all the odds, surprising us all, defended his Ring of Honor Television Championship. And then just vacated it immediately after to go after MJF for the world title. So what a fun place to be would it be in Long Island? MJF defeats Samoa Joe, conquers the Beast, and then just vacates the title right after. That's just desserts for Joe. You know, if it wasn't in Long Island, I actually think that he would have vacated the title already, or they would have done an interim title, and they would have had the Continental Classic before the title at World's End. I think the only reason MJF is actually wrestling this match with his injuries is because it's in his hometown. He is the draw. He is the hometown hero. But I definitely think he'll do the right thing and he'll drop the title to Joe, just likely not tapping out, just passing out, getting choked out.
Yeah. That'd be better than him vacating it or them having an interim champion. So, I don't know, but I think that might be the best case scenario. What do you think, Loaded?
MJF is not losing that title, bro, at World's End.
Mm.
That's not gonna happen. Samoa Joe is there to protect him from the devil, so he's gonna keep him healthy, make sure he's almost 100%, and then MJF will still beat Samoa Joe, and hopefully we'll get a devil reveal. And I think it's gonna be obviously Adam Cole, and probably Wardlow is one of them. I think Wardlow is probably in the group.
Yeah, they had a picture floating around with Wardlow. He came out like right after the Mask Man, and he had like mask hair. They were saying like
Yeah, his hair was
his
messed
hair
up.
looked like he was under a
Yeah,
mask.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's interesting. That's interesting.
Because I think Adam Cole is going to be the guy to beat MJF, not Samoa Joe.
Yeah, but they're still playing up to
That's
Adam
not the
Cole.
question, though. He's legitimately injured. After World's End, he's going to be out for like 4 months. So you think he should just hold on to the title and then we get an interim? Because if he doesn't vacate it or lose, then what do they do? Like, and Adam Cole's still injured. I know he was the plan, but he can't wrestle either. And MJF is literally not going to be able to wrestle beyond this pay-per-view. So do you think he's still keeping the title?
We don't know how severe it is, though. Is he really going to, like, so he's not going to wrestle at all after World's End? Like, he's done? I don't know the severity of the injury, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't know it was that severe where he can't go, because if it's severe where he can't keep going, he shouldn't be wrestling this match at all. And that's something they need to kind of
something else.
circle back on. Yeah,
I just think Adam Cole will heal by at least December, at the end of December or January, and he'll take the title off MJF.
Yeah.
In January.
Do we know how much longer Adam Cole is out?
No one knows.
I don't know, but I just want to say something. This is where I agree with Clint when he said that AEW destroys their talent.
Well, let's talk about it, because Cody Rhodes went in there with a ripped up shoulder and they let him go in that ring. So
sure, now you have my back.
Oh, you don't want to do it? Because I'm ready. Come on, let's do it. But no, I agree though. You know what? I definitely agree that they do need to protect the wrestlers from themselves, because you're going out there, if you aren't supposed to be wrestling and Tony Khan's letting him wrestle, he could aggravate that, whatever the injury is, even more. Now, because you did that, he's going to be out for even longer. And I'm sure they were planning to go with this WWE, the WWE jump angle, where they're saying he hasn't signed a contract. Now they really can't even do that, which I think they're still going to try it, because they didn't put him on the Wembley poster. So something's going on there.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But you got anything else to add to it, Brian? Do you think he'll actually?
I think he'll drop the title, even though it should have not been to Samoa Joe. But unfortunately, these are just the circumstances and the storyline that he's in. I don't think someone like Samoa Joe benefits so much from the title reign. I think that having him as just, he kind of reminds me of like maybe a more like lessened down, like lesser version of Brock Lesnar in AEW, where he can just destroy anybody and he's just a beast. I don't think he needs the title, nor do I think that it just does anything much for him. I think it's cool, but Adam Cole would have definitely benefited more. It's just the circumstances. I do think that MJF will drop it to him, though. I don't think he'll keep it for 4 or 5 months, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I do think Samoa Joe actually needs the championship, in my opinion, just because I think they always put him in there in those title matches. He always loses. So when I look at Samoa Joe right now, I'm thinking like, oh, he's getting a title match, but he's not going to win. He's just that under guy for them, just like Lance Archer. So if they put the belt on him, I think that he actually does need it. I think that would help him a lot in the eyes of people who see him as just a fall guy. I mean, if
you don't mind, if you don't like,
no,
I just think that them giving the title to Samoa Joe is cool. Don't get me wrong. It's just, this is MJF's longest reign. So, I mean, you're right. It could turn him into like, oh, I beat the greatest AEW champion ever thus far, or whatever the case is, and he beat him after having the longest reign. It just really depends what they do with Samoa Joe. If he does win after the storyline, that's what will really elevate him. Him winning is cool, but if they really turn him into this beast, because if he really beat MJF and he choked him out, how Dubbs said, which I think that's more likely. I don't think he taps out in Long Island, but that would be the way that you elevate him and make him that star, by just keep reiterating that.
Yeah, like the Stone Cold Bret Hart match, like when he passed out with the bloody face. Boom, hero's moment in Long Island. But we're going to get to you, Clint. I just want to say one last thing, because it made a lot of sense there, what Brian said, as far as like, Samoa Joe being AEW's Brock Lesnar. I think you made a great point there because if there was a point there where Brock Lesnar was losing, and like when he went in there and faced the Undertaker at WrestleMania, I was like, you know what, just another match. No way. I'm playing on my phone, and he hit the F5 or whatever. I just looked up at the TV, like just waiting for the kick out. 1, 2, 3. I threw my phone, like what? My dad was in there watching with me, and he like we all just jumped up and looked at each other, like. And then they didn't play the music for a while, and then that music hit, and boom, it was over. Brock Lesnar is a beast again. So something like this would, I think, be kind of that same road for Samoa Joe, where people would start believing that he's a threat if he got that championship belt. Anything else you want to add before we jump to Clint, Bryan?
I'm good.
All right, Clint,
I'm
so what's your
wondering.
thoughts on them? Go ahead, Kero.
I have the injuries. Should I tell you about them, Clint, or do you want to give your answer before that?
I had it
Like-
too.
You guys covered like most of it, but I just want to say one possible booking scenario. I don't know if this fits with Samoa Joe's character, but since he's been treated as like this monster and this beast that just runs through everybody, what if he goes to MJF and everybody knows he's injured, right? So what if he goes to MJF and he's like, I don't want to beat you like this. I want you at your best. And he just leaves. And he doesn't win. He just gets counted out, and MJF keeps the title that way. I know it sounds stupid, but you know.
No, me and
know.
Bryan are going to be there. We want to see a match, injured or not.
I'm just saying,
I would
like a way to
personally walk
protect
the ring
MJF.
and wrestle MJF if Samoa Joe does that.
Comes in, does a couple moves, beats him up, and he's like doing the whole like
No,
he's
come on.
dying thing, babyface thing. You never know.
It
I don't know.
sounds good, Clint, if it was on a random episode of Dynamite.
Yeah.
But on a pay-per-view that you're promoting this much, if they do that, bro, like I will ask for a refund. Like,
Yeah.
Riots.
Nah,
You're right.
Adam Cole will take this place
What about
again.
the
Don't
finger
worry.
poke of death? You know.
That was also on a TV.
All right. So, Kiddo, you said you have the injury for us?
Yeah, both injuries happened during his match with Jay White. So he was working through 2 serious injuries during the match, including a dislocated hip, which occurred when he hit a top rope elbow drop to the floor, and a torn labrum, which he suffered when taking a top rope uranagi from White. So
wow.
those are serious boys, serious
Yeah.
injuries.
And they were saying he was crazy for jumping on him like after the table already collapsed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
that's
guess
what
those
injured him.
tables really are beneficial there. Yeah.
Supposed to be like a safe worker. Why is he doing all these big moves all of a sudden? Like,
He
what's
just yeah, right.
Babyface, not a heel.
all right?
Yeah. But with the dislocated hip, can they just pop that back into place like they do with a shoulder, or what you got to do in that case? Anybody know? Mr.Dubbs, you're a resident doctor on the panel.
They said for as far as the torn labrum, it's much worse than was initially thought, and is described as big and much worse than the one that he did work through in his in 2020 during his feud with Jack Perry. So this is a much worse injury than he had before, and it definitely seems like after this match he'll be gone, which is why I don't think he's keeping the title. And he'll probably they'll throw the whole world at him, right? Like they'll have him get choked out. He won't tap out. You're probably gonna have Wardlow interfere to guarantee, because Wardlow said, "I'm gonna take everything from you." So Wardlow will probably interfere and hit him with an F10 or something. And
Do you think
you know what I mean? There's gonna be tons of shenanigans.
Do you think the devil gets revealed? Like maybe the devil comes out and beats him up while maybe him and Samoa Joe are both out or something? Like, do you think?
Yeah,
I mean, I think Wardlow has to tie in because Wardlow said he's going to take everything from him. So if he's going to lose, I think Wardlow has to be involved in that. And I think he's one of the guys. I don't think Wardlow is the devil. I think he's one of the guys, maybe, but I think they've been. But every time they do the devil segment, they have Wardlow's entrance right after. They've been doing that every week for the last few weeks. If you've been paying attention, so I think they're just trying to point you too much in the direction that that Wardlow is the guy. That again. It obviously seems like Adam Cole was supposed to be the guy, but if they're going to have to speed up the timetable, maybe they make it someone else.
Yeah, and I think Jack Perry's definitely going to be involved with that too, because why is he still out?
I hope not. I hope he gets fired. Bye-bye, Jack.
Please, get him out.
He can be the sacrificial lamb.
He just don't move the needle
out of
for
there.
me, bro. He don't do it, man.
Hey, man, he's a young kid figuring it out. He'll get it. Jack Perry, Sammy Guevara. I don't know if Sammy Guevara is still injured, but I think he's going to be.
He don't move the needle for me neither. Sammy
Guevara, I think he was real good. These young guys have promise, man. They just got to get it together. Sammy Guevara, he's both of them. Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy, they just need to bulk up. They haven't grown into their man bodies yet, but when they do, I think they'll be fine. They're really good in ring, but their promos too. I think that's what it is.
Sammy Guevara as a heel kind of grew on me a little bit when he was doing stuff with Ty. And and his moveset, like the matches he had with Cody while Cody was there, like those ladder matches and stuff, those were some of the greatest matches AEW's ever put on.
Yeah, he had one with Darby Allin too.
Yeah, Sammy Guevara in ring.
Sammy can go when he goes in, when he gets in there. Yeah.
He reminds me of a young Eddie Guerrero, as they always make reference to. Like he has those incredible stuff. I think you're right. He just needs to fill out more and work on his promos a lot.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and touch on a few more things from AEW before we get up out of here. For one, Christian and Edge, great segment. They missed the F word when they tried to bleep it out. Anybody want to touch on that really quick?
Damn, I didn't watch it.
I thought it was intentional. That's all I'll say.
Oh, you think so? Because I heard him like kind of the sound went out after he said it. I was like, were they trying to catch it? Maybe that was them trying to clean it up. Like, we'll make it look like we tried to bleep it. So, I mean, that's possible. And Ric Flair's got, he's been getting some heat here. Ooh. He said, ladies, 18 to 28 come to my hotel room, and people did not take too kind to that.
Yeah.
Is it okay for women 18 to 28 to go to Ric Flair's bedroom? What do you guys think about it?
Jeez.
I'm not going to say.
No, don't give opinions on that. I'm just
no comment.
If you don't want to get canceled, relax.
Yeah. I got a daughter.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's my status message on social media.
If let's say your daughter was 28.
No. I think the legal age should be 30. So that's my thing.
It is age, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest though. Listen, we're not going to debate about this, but a 28-year-old woman already has the brains to make that decision. Obviously, morally for Ric Flair, it's not okay.
No, it's fine. You know what? 28's fine. I think the problem is he said 18. Yeah, 28's fine. But I think the problem is he said 18.
How old was Anna Nicole Smith?
And this dude is 74 years old. Like,
if you're 28,
you're a grown woman. You're a grown woman at 28.
If let's say, I'm not going to say your daughter. If your 28-year-old friend came to your crib and y'all was talking, and she just said that she was taking some back shots from Ric Flair, how y'all gonna react to that?
I'll dap her up. Like, what? I mean, shout out to you.
I'd be like, can I meet 28. Ric Flair?
I don't think.
Yeah, is he still here? No.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he still here? Can I get an autograph?
But
okay,
go ahead,
I got something to point out here because you're saying 28. Anna Nicole Smith was 26 when she married that 89-year-old.
Honestly, though, bro, I don't really care about 28.
I think it's fine.
I think
28 is fine.
18 through 20. I don't even know. I feel like after 21, you can do whatever the fuck
you should be at least
18 to 21. You gotta kind of leave it.
Bro, it's like that just seems very predatory because a year before you're 18, you're not even legal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think once you're legal in whatever, 18 is the legal age in Alberta and parts of Canada. 19 is the legal age across the rest of Canada. 21 is for you guys in the States.
No. I'm in South Carolina. It's 16.
Yeah.
To drink?
No.
16. Oh, I thought you meant like age of consent for women.
No. I'm saying legal age to drink.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 21.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I'd say 21 on. You're, once you're legal age to drink and everything else, you're making your own decisions. There's lots of gold diggers out there. Ric Flair's had at points lots of money. If they want to have a ride on Space Mountain, if they're consenting adults, what's wrong with it?
Yeah,
like I
so
said,
you're saying 21 and up is fine.
An 89-year-old. Yeah. I think as long as you're legal drinking age or whatever in your state and stuff.
21 and up is fine. It's just the fact that he said 18.
He said 18. That was my problem.
Yeah, 18 is.
Well, 18 is that, but that's I'm sure the same promo he's been cutting. But I'm sure it's
legal.
The same promo he's been cutting since the 80s, right?
Yes, Dubbs, I agree with you. But the problem is that he has so many allegations against him.
Yes,
from,
I was just gonna say
he's not thinking.
That is what's
nature boy.
Off. I think if he had a clean record and nobody said nothing about him being allegedly doing stuff, and he said that, I think people would see it more as like funny as a joke, even though
funny uncle,
still tough.
Yeah,
but it's just
that's how I saw it, to be honest. Yeah, that's how I saw it. Just like I kind of brushed it off, but I saw people were mad. I was like, all right, makes sense.
That's
if you think
Twitter
about
effect.
Yeah, he went to but he went down to 18, which is like the age of consent, though. So my issue is, if he came to South Carolina and Googled it, like, what's the age of consent? Would he be open to going with a 16-year-old because that's legal?
I don't think across the board, like it's just kind of a known thing. Like I didn't know there was a lower age of consent in certain states.
It's bad. It's terrible, man.
I didn't know that,
That's
but
terrible.
I just assumed 18 is kind of that just across the board. Like that's how old
Like
someone
universal.
should be to be.
Yes.
I think that's
universally acceptable age for an adult woman to be with an adult man. Like that's just, or an adult woman to be with an adult woman, and an adult man to be with an adult man, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? No offense to anybody. I just mean legal age we've always considered as consent being like 18, right? So I think that's why he said that number. I don't think, again, it was just Ric Flair being Ric Flair. I didn't take offense to it because I'm a wrestling fan who knows the character of Ric Flair, and he's got an open mic, which is always a mistake with Flair, but in AEW, they kind of do that. Thankfully, it was on a taped show, so apparently this didn't make broadcast. But I definitely understand why people are upset. But I also see that everybody gets upset over everything in 2023, that it's cancel culture all around. And I mean, if Vince McMahon didn't sell when he did, they were trying to oust him for the same kind of stuff. But he got away with it for 30 years. I'm not saying it's okay, and I'm not condoning the actions at all. If you're a predator or doing horrible things, I don't think you should be able to just buy your way out of it.
I don't think it's fair. Before you, I don't think it's fair to label him a predator because he said 18.
No, I was talking more about Vince McMahon. When I just said the Vince McMahon thing and the horrible allegations he's had, stuff like that. I'm not trying to condone it or say it's okay. What I'm saying is this is part of the Ric Flair character. It was always the limousine riding, come ride Space Mountain, woo! Like the ladies coming home, and how many of your parents, and blah blah blah. Like he always makes that kind of thing. So I just take it as part of his gimmick, but I 100% understand why people are offended by it, and especially because of his age. You know, when he's saying 18 to 29 or 28, like I get it. It's it's creepy, gross, whatever. But again, if you don't know the character and you only hear the allegations he's had, this paints him in a horrible light. But I don't think everybody should just be canceled because they misspoke or said something.
No, you can't cancel him for the statement.
I'm not going. I'm not. Listen.
But that's what he's saying. He's saying, if you want me gone, I will leave the company. He took this.
That's what he said.
The backlash to it. He's saying he's willing to leave because he doesn't want to negatively affect the Sting retirement whole deal. He doesn't want to have the whole story be about him and ruining his friend's moment, right? That's the stance he's taking, where he's like, I don't want to be a distraction to this. I'm sorry. Like, and I feel that he genuinely feels bad.
Let's let Kero.
He's been a distraction ever since the moment he showed up. Forget what happened last week or whatever this week on the show. Like, that's been my first idea. Oh, Sting's gonna retire. What is Ric Flair doing here? So he's gonna be here the whole time. Is this kind of double retirement? So also, if he leaves, does he get to keep the money? That's also something I'm wondering. Like the money for the contract, or is that forfeit as well?
About the money, he said it. He said,
he has to care about the money.
He said I got enough money.
He does. That's a different thing.
I'm sure TK threw a fucking bag at him though.
Sure. I think the reason he wants to grow his business is because he said he said when he was on Joe Rogan and stuff, his CBD business and his cannabis business has made him more money than he made ever wrestling. Right? Like his business is now. So I think the sponsorship with his Woo Energy and everything means more to him than just whatever paycheck Tony wants to pay him. He wants to get his drinks out there and stuff like that. It's business. But I think the whole reason he's there is because Sting asked for him. I don't think they just brought him in out of nowhere. So? I think Sting wants him there. I think that's the whole, because he's probably Sting is like his golden goose toy. Like, have whatever you want, wrestle as long as you want, come on any show, do whatever you want. I think Tony Khan's just like, if this is your retirement, what can I get you? What do you want? Anything. And he's probably just like, it'd be cool to have Ric Flair there. And he's like, done. I don't know this. I have no facts for this. Right. I'm just assuming Sting has. I think Sting has a certain level of creative control.
I just looked it up. Apparently, looking at a few different websites, Ric Flair's net worth is $500,000. So does he need the money?
Does that include any of his new companies though? Because I heard he's making his.
I mean, he's probably making more and more money, but I heard he went broke at one point, and he hasn't had any big wrestling contracts since then. So I don't think he needs to go anywhere if that's the case. Because I mean, if he really lives the big lifestyle he advertises, which everybody says he lives the gimmick, he probably needs this AEW contract. So he should probably just tone it down a bit.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Anybody else got anything to say on Ric Flair?
And that's good enough.
All right. Before we end this, we do not agree with anything negative about this topic that y'all got mad about. So, yes. All right, the last thing we want to talk about, Mr.Dubbs. You said you wanted to touch on the Continental Classic.
Yes, as far as AEW goes, let me just get the timestamps here. My apologies. But I think, I don't know what everybody else thinks about tournaments. Not everybody's a big New Japan Pro Wrestling fan. Most people are just familiar with the King of the Ring. This is obviously a round-robin style tournament versus single elimination. I wasn't crazy about it at the start until I saw all the stars that are in it. And when I saw like Swerve in it at first, I thought, oh no, you're building him up. He's had all these amazing matches. He should be next in line for the title. And now you're just going to have him job out to like Roosh and random people in this tournament. But now that it's been 2 weeks now or a week and a half, and we've seen some of the matches, I didn't realize at first that the gold bracket is Dynamite only. The blue bracket is Collision only. So if you want to see Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson wrestle in this tournament, you got to watch Collision. Very cool. It's a hook. I think that's a great thing. You want to see Jon Moxley? You're getting him every week on Dynamite. But I think it's very cool that they have them split. It's going to make every week matter because they always throw out matches without storyline. This at least has the story that every match matters. Like they kind of were trying to do with their rankings early on. They kind of got rid of that now. This makes every match mean something. The points are always going to matter. You're going to probably see some 20-minute draws or some countouts, different finishes that you wouldn't normally. And I think you're going to spin off a lot of stories. And this will be a good storytelling device for them. Whereas we all know they're not always the best at telling stories. And Bryan Danielson, I think, is one of the guys heading this because he always wanted to be in a G1. And because his career is winding down, I don't think AEW was going to, because of all the injury time he's had, I don't think they were willing to let him go for 3 months to go do that. So this title, I think Bryan Danielson's going to win it, or at least be in the finals. But I think this was solely designed to give Bryan Danielson his own G1 experience. And I think they're going to obviously continue it going forward. But I think it's a really neat thing for AEW because a lot of North American wrestling fans have not ever seen anything like it. And the G1 is one of the highlights every year of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
So I want to touch on that.
Incredible tournament.
Yeah, you just said a lot of North American fans aren't familiar with things like this. I think that's the problem, really. It just hasn't connected with me because normally the tournament I'm used to is King of the Ring. You lose, you're out. Exactly. And in this one, they're like going with different points and you got this bracket, that bracket. If you lose, you can come back and have another match. I think it's just a little too much just to push like, here, this is what we're doing. I'll explain it to you this week. We start next week. And it's just really kind of been a disconnect for me, but I can see like what they're doing with Swerve Strickland. They're letting him beat a lot of these guys and they're still building him up through this tournament. It could be some story stuff going on there because right before the tournament started, Swerve's last loss was against Bryan Danielson. And you're saying this is kind of built for Bryan Danielson and for him to kind of maybe win the championship. You said you think he's going to win?
I think he'll at least be in the finals because Bryan Danielson's always been very clear. He doesn't care about the titles in AEW. Yeah. I'd like to see him as AEW champion before he retires. I don't think he cares at all. He wants to build more other wrestlers. Yeah. So I could see him being in the finals and then losing to Strickland because they're an opposite bracket. Strickland's on the Dynamite bracket.
So the finals is Dynamite versus Collision kind of in those different brackets. That's how
it'll be. It'll be the top points from either side. So before the finals, you'll have the two leaders in points on the Dynamite side and the two leaders in points on the Collision side. And they will wrestle each other to see who goes to the pay-per-view. Yeah. To win the whole thing.
That would be kind of 50-50 booking, but I think it's great storytelling as well. Since Swerve did take that loss to Bryan Danielson, and then he went back and got the big win against Hangman Page. So if it does end up with Swerve and Bryan, you got a story to tell there. You beat me that last match. I don't think you should have. Now here's the big match to culminate everything. Bryan's not going to be wrestling full-time. They said this is his last year wrestling full-time, so I think he might pass it off, so it could be Swerve's big victory for this one.
I think this is how you put it. I just don't know how I feel about putting that title on Strickland. I feel
it's
like
three titles.
Yeah, I mean it's 3 titles, but the NJPW one, like I don't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling like that, but people were saying that people forgot that title was around. Like it just it seems like it's 3 non-important titles put together. That's what it seems like to me.
So what's the AEW championship that's included in there?
It's the Continental Championship.
Not even the Inter.
We have the international one, and now we have a continental one. More titles, titles, y'all. More titles.
We don't need more titles. But I think it would be cool if this is a championship that goes from New Japan, defended in AEW, I guess, Ring of Honor for what it is. like a traveling champion. It would be cool between different promotions. You don't think so,
Isn't that the idea with the other title, the Intercontinental or whatever? Didn't they do the same?
Yeah, but they stopped it.
International.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though. I think with the
this
run
is
that,
the Continental.
yeah, I think with the run that Swerve is on right now, I think he's the perfect guy to elevate the title though. If you're gonna put it on anybody, I think you put it on Swerve, in my opinion.
Yeah. And if they're not ready to give him that main event title, like the WWE or AEW championship, if it is going on Samoa Joe and then from there Adam Cole, you want to do something with Strickland to keep him hot and not let him fall down and just fall off the card while they're getting ready for that. So, I mean, if it's not time for him to be the champion, I can understand that. So just at least keep him getting hot while we get him to that point.
And I think whoever wins this, because World's End happens before the New Japan pay-per-view, the big beginning of the year one, that I think they'll probably have the champion fly over and defend it in New Japan, which I think would be neat.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But anybody else got any thoughts on the Continental Classic? I know we're going a bit long here today.
I mean, there is stuff to say, but I think it's a good time to end it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll leave Kero's thoughts for next time because the tournament doesn't end anytime soon. Thank y'all for tuning into this episode. We're going to let Loaded take us out today.
So thank you guys for checking out this video. Give this video a thumbs up. Appreciate y'all. Check out everybody's channel here. And that's about it.